I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of
Marilyn Phil came over the week before to record.
Yeah.
And I forgot to turn the microphones on.
Oh.
So, well, the microphones were on, but they I didn't attach it in the computer. So the computer, which is far away from us, is what was picking us up. So I played it back and I was like,
it sounds like you're on the other. Yeah.
It just, so he's coming over this weekend to record for So You Like Horror. And we're like, okay, well, look, you and I got to do that Marvel's episode again. So he was like, okay.
Did you go see that?
No. Yeah.
Oof. I didn't get a chance to yet, but I've heard plenty of bad things, but I've not heard the full breakdown. I've been avoiding spoilers for if I do go see it, but it's nothing I'm going to rush to go see.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I like Phil is a movie theater guy. I'm not, so I always tell people you don't need to see it in the theater, but it's better than what like all the people that are bitching and whining about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what their complaints are. I don't care what their complaints are because it seems like people want to have complaints regardless. So if you're going to something already not liking it, when you watch it, you're going to dislike it more. So
100%.
That's my take on it. I went in with no expectations and came out pretty okay. I was like, dude, that was actually
no harm, no foul.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think the main criticisms of it is the wham power, and then Nick Fury being fairly inconsistent between this and Secret Invasion. That's the main complaintments. New word.
The Nick Fury thing, I agree, is spot on. The power thing I thought was actually fine. It was well done. It was just one of those things. I think again, people needed something to not like.
Yep.
So like, fuck that thing. I don't like that. And I was like, why? It's actually fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever. But I enjoyed it. So
good.
You know, that's where that stands.
All the win. The wife is actually in the living room. We just started a new series, and it's like, oh, good. I'm going to go in the other room and record for a few hours and miss a few episodes. So it is what it is. But it's okay. It's the Chosen. It's all about it's all about Jesus. It's all about Jesus and the Bible stories.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, it's by Angel Studios. Those guys who did Sound of Freedom and stuff like that.
I just want things to work.
Don't we all?
That's all.
Yeah. Oh.
Then again, maybe it's that I don't actually know how to fucking operate the WWE portion of Peacock. That's not their fault.
No. That's not fair. It's not fair to them that it's difficult. Or maybe it's entirely fair. Like you said, you don't know things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a plug and play kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, same. Like, that's what's great about at least these right here. These are USB/XLR. So if I do want to get a real board one day, not a problem. Because, dude, what really pisses me off is all this shit goes down, right? You know, we got all these fucking medical bills piling up, new car note, all this stuff. Got, groceries are through the fucking roof. And then Black Friday, they put the same unit Bobby's got on sale for like $200 less on Amazon. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, damn it. I'm already buried in stuff, and I'm about to have to order a fucking Ghostbusters trap and PKE meter and shit like that from HasLab. So it's like, I can't fucking buy the stupid ass board that I want right now. That popped. It felt good.
Let's see.
Oh,
fuck out of. Oh,
stretching. I think I'm stretching something. Oh, last hour or so, my back is just like not happy. Actually did real work the other day at work. First time in a year. I thought I'd be dead on my. Well, I'm dead on my feet, but I thought my back would be completely like destroyed because the therapy I've been going through. Nope. Yeah. Turns out actually it was probably good for me because like since then it's only gone downhill afterwards. It's like it actually, I guess, just that exercise, like all that stuff helped. And like now, sitting around for like the last day, I'm in a lot of pain. Well, not a lot. I've been in way worse pain, especially in the last couple of weeks. So you haven't been caught up on all the situation, because my other podcast friends, I'm not calling them co-hosts anymore. They're just podcast friends because they don't exist on the podcast anymore. I mentioned to them. So this is how this weekend went since Thanksgiving. So actually, going to Thanksgiving, we did big family Thanksgiving get together, right? Like everybody, well, not everybody, like half the family, which is still way too many in one place. And then Jessica comes home and little scratchiness in the throat, like little scratchiness. I'm like, okay, well, maybe you overate or something. You know, I got some extra. She did have a lot of reflux, so maybe I was just thinking. No, fucking Friday, she wakes up, she's feeling like shit. Sinuses are all stuffed up. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So she's off on Friday. I'm not. I got to go to work. Luckily, it was a short-ish day. So, you know, I got back. And by the time I get home, she's like, I think I'm running a fever. I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, okay. So, that's not the only thing. So, let me recap this. Broken foot. It's slowly healing. Massively inconvenient. 52 days late on her period, and then it finally starts. And then gets sick on top of that. So that's broken foot, raging period, some type of cold. So all at once in this weekend. It's just like, oh my God. I was like, what did we do? It's like, what gods did we anger?
Can't you find a way to space it out a little bit? Like at least like
a week or so, 2 weeks.
One per week.
One per month. I would be fine. I mean, actually, that's how it's supposed to work, one per month. But no, it's like no joke. It's just like, you know, we were wondering what was going on because, you know, with everything that has happened, unfortunately, we've not been in the baby making situation. So for her to have an incredibly late period was very strange. Very strange. Yeah. So, especially considering the medication she's on is supposed to keep her period like super regular. So, I guess the stress of everything just basically, you know, knocked everything out. And then, of course, this all happens at the same fucking time. Weather's changing as well, so it got like really cold all of a sudden and really wet. And so on top of that, she's crawling up and down the fucking stairs to get, you know, home and whatnot. Oh my God. And then now this. So, you know, we get a tiny bit of good news. I don't even know. I didn't really get to talk about this, I don't think, to really get... By the way, guys, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 76. Yeah, 76, because we didn't have an episode during Thanksgiving week. So it's just like, wait a minute. It's like, what episode am I on again? I don't even remember. Do the like, subscribe thing, all that stuff. I am Shoky. This is Dante.
Hello.
He's back because he's awesome. He's my only co-host who bothers to come back, even if it's last second.
Well, I just saw your message on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Because like I've been getting to a point now where I don't check those things until the end of the night.
I don't know why I defaulted to that. It's like we've been texting. You know what it was? It was the inconvenience of going through Messenger or normal messages, and I'm like, I'll just do Instagram. I was like, no. Then I thought about it. I was like, wait, he's not really doing Instagram that much right now. I was like, shit. I was like, because that's when I see all the memes come in, and then I see all your posts on Facebook all at the same time. It was just like, oh, I see what he's doing.
Well, I have to like do because you know just run around during the day. Like end of the night, I had a friend. She was explaining how she got so many messages to reply to, and granted, part of it is she's a female. But also, she was a prominent female in the jiu-jitsu social media space. Yeah. So she's looking at hundreds of DMs, like not like hundreds like in the 100s, but like hundreds of like 400 DMs per day. Mm-mm. And she was like, you know, it's such a nightmare, which she ended up quitting. She just stopped. Yeah. So I don't get that many DMs, but I'm still like in the heavy double digits. So by the end of the day, it is just me checking to see
just pruning
who needs me to repost something, I send a shit ton of like memes just to groups of people because I'm like, look, man, I think this is funny. So then a lot of it is replies to those, or like, oh yeah, I'm gonna one up your shit post. Here's mine. This is even worse. You're gonna make me see something horrible. You can see something horrible. So at about 10 o'clock at night, that's when I'm like kind of going through all of that and answering things or replying. So I just happened to sit down. I'm like, okay, let me look here real quick. It's like, oh, I see you messaged me hours ago. My bad.
Yeah. I figured you'd get back to me one day or another. But then I said, let me just text Dante, see what's going on, because I haven't heard from him all day. And it's just like, I just walked in the door. You want to record? Like, yeah, let's go. So that was 20 minutes ago. So let's from it's like, so let me put it this way. At like 7 o'clock this morning, I asked the group who was going to be available to pod today. Ricky was the only one who actually replied, and he said, nope, not me. And then everyone else either didn't reply or just did whatever. So I'm like, I'll hit up Dante then. And then I hit up Dante on Instagram like an idiot. And it's like, it is nice to just be able to text directly.
Well, I do that too. Like, I'll message people on Instagram for no reason. And it's like, dude, I have their phone number, and especially if it's for the podcast. And I just like, hey, I need this person, but I'll hit them on Instagram. And it's like, shit, maybe I should just text them because I do have the phone number.
Yeah. And I'm not to the point where I feel like comfortable to call you just yet. Like, that's the funny part. It's like, we'll sit here for 4 hours talking like this, but this is not a phone call, so I don't think of it that way. It's like, I'm fine with texting you. I haven't put let me call Dante about this. I was like, someday it'll happen, just not yet.
Yeah. Well, like, I get to the freak out mode with phone calls because I'll answer phone calls. But my thing is, if people don't normally call, if I see the call come through, I'm like, oh, shit, what's wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So if I called, you'd be like, oh, shit, what's happening? Yeah.
Like, even with my wife, when she calls, I'm like, shit.
Same. Fucking same. And it's like, well, see, the problem with Jessica is it's either she's calling me because she's bored on lunch or something tragic has happened. Well, it's the same thing when my mom calls. I was like, okay, she doesn't just call to call because we don't have that relationship. So she usually calls when things go terribly fucking wrong, So, and she did call earlier because my aunt updated. So I made a Facebook post. So therefore it's going to get back to my mom because she's not on Facebook anymore. And I got one aunt starting shit. And then I got another aunt who just basically reported it to my mom because like she just wanted an update. So she called and asked how we were doing. And I'm like, we're alive, but what the fuck is happening today? Because Jessica thought she was going to go to work this morning. Like, she's like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to go to work. I'm like, you still have a fucking fever. It's like, you woke up with 100-degree fever. You ain't going nowhere. She's like, no, it'll be fine. I'll just break it and I'll go to work. I'm like, I don't think it's going to work that way, hon.
Honestly, that's not how fevers work.
I mean, well, it did. It actually did. Like, we managed to pump her full of meds and her fever broke like a little before she needed to leave. But the problem is we couldn't get an answer one way or another from her job on if they were going to get her covered or anything. Like, all of management was just fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Incommunicado there for a while. And then finally get back to her when it's damn near too late. So I had to rush her to get dressed. And they're like, oh, well, if you have a fever, you should stay home. And then she's like, well, am I going to get paid for the holiday? And they're like, well, you're taking today off, so no. And she's like, and we talked about this like all day. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, if it's a holiday, it's supposed to be if you work the day before, the day after you get paid. It's like, well, I worked the day before. Why the fuck are you not going to pay me for the holiday because I'm calling in today? It's fucking stupid. So she doesn't know. That's like 2 days worth of fucking pay is, that's nothing to fucking shake a stick at, right? When groceries cost fucking $1 million damn dollars.
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, okay, so on that quick topic, because we live in very different regions, like, and you have a slightly larger household than myself, because you have one extra mouth there. What is y'all's average grocery bill? Just because I know you got to have all the Little Debbies and all that stuff.
So honestly, I try to try to keep her from buying any like pastry, like junk foods.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I get junk foods, it's like me out at work and I'm like on the
gas
road.
station,
like, shit, let me
eat in the car,
grab some honey buns.
Exactly.
But So Sarah now just kind of goes to the store as needed. It used to be like we'd go every, Sunday or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been so long where it's like she just goes to the store. But she said the other day she came back with 2 bags.
Mm-hmm.
Like
50
2
bucks.
grocery bags. And it was like $100.
Fuck.
Like, and I was like, when you look in the bag, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's $100.
Yeah.
It's
It shouldn't be.
and she bargain shops. She's not, because there's someone I think recently on the news complained about a turkey costing $90 or $100 or some shit. And it's like, well, you went and got a bougie fucking ass turkey is what you did.
Yeah, but here's what's crazy. So last year, you mentioned the turkey things because there was a weird turkey shortage last year, supposedly, because of the COVID farms destroying everything.
Yeah.
COVID farms. That sounded bad. I didn't mean that, YouTube. No, so basically, like, you could buy a whole turkey for like $50 for like a bullshit one. That's just normal bullshit whole turkey, right? 2 turkey breast was like $70. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like I'm missing most of a turkey, and it costs more. I'm like, that makes even per pound that made no sense. I'm just like, I don't know if they were pre-brined or some nonsense, and like we don't go to like Whole Foods or nothing. We're going to fucking HEB, which is barely up from Kroger or like an Albertsons, depending on the region you're in. We used to go to Kroger because they had good deals, but HEB is just better in every way. That's what it should be called, BEW, not HEB. Better in it. There's an I in there, but who cares? Who spells? But like it's so dumb. Like I think we went. So I went to just get some essentials, kind of like you were talking about with Sarah, and I got 2 things of creamer, half gallon of milk, like a couple other little things, and a 4-pack of beer, and it was $50. Like it was, and I mean, to be fair, like 11 of that was the beer, but like for those other things, and that was with the 2 things of creamer being 2 for $6. Like, so those were on sale, and it was still $50 and like our average trip to the grocery store now is like $180.
Yeah, I would imagine if we're doing it weekly, how we used to do, or every 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Just thinking about the things that we would normally get, a lot of fresh produce and meat, were the big ones. And all of that has just gone up so drastically to the point where it's like it makes you not want it. It kind of puts you almost in that spot where it's like, let me get the shittiest food that's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Because I have to eat versus, I want to get, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. I want to make sure I'm getting, some good produce, some good, good meat in me as well.
So to speak.
Pause.
We're both on top of that one, so to speak.
But it's like, what was it? 2016. When Sarah was pregnant with Sophie, I had gone on this old classmate of mine drafted up this meal plan for me and everything, and I was working out pretty heavy at the time anyway, so I was in pretty good shape at that point.
Flex.
And some might brag, but and during that time it was like, okay, the way I was eating was like deli meat, lunch, like from the deli, like chicken breasts, and turkey, shit like that, and then a lot of chicken, like a lot of chicken breasts just for like dinner,
a lot of lean protein.
Yeah, and it wasn't too hateful to do that.
No.
And I was doing this for 8 weeks. So
yeah, back then you could get a whole grocery of like decent meats for like $100, and like you're going home with poundage. It's like now it's like $50 for like a couple steaks. It's like not even premium then, shit.
It was under 100. I remember we weren't even like crossing 100. With my stuff alone. And now, like I was telling, so it was like I think I might go back to that because I still have the menus and everything.
Yeah,
I think I want to go back to that. Just to kind of, I think the biggest hindrance to me doing anything is really, and for most people, it is the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not the workout that's hard. It's eating and prepping your food properly. And when I mentioned it, she was like, yeah. And she started showing me the prices. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
and
what am I going to do?
And we live down here in the land of beef. Like, Texas is all about fucking cows. You know, it's like, so, but even here, like, I don't know where the fuck we're getting. I mean, there were like, we did as a nation kill off, I don't know, several 100,000 cows and just waste the meat and the milk for like 2 years. So, I mean, things have been really fucked up market wise. But like, because there was a sale, I don't know, a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and it was, the steaks were like half price. I mean, they weren't like about to go bad or anything. It's just like, hey, look, meat's half price today. So like, fuck it, I'm gonna get some thick fucking New York strips. Fuck them, you know. And like those two things together were like $40, where they would have been $40 a piece before that for those same steaks. So that's so stupid. It's like, it makes no fucking sense. But like, and regionally, like here, I mean, things are still expensive, but I know they're far more expensive, say like California or in certain other crazy places where they have to quote unquote import the food. You know, I think Texas is going to have to start doing like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not tax. What's the thing when you export something? Tariff. We're going to start tariffing all our food that goes to California. Charge them motherfuckers extra. It's like, oh, you're gonna send your people here, or you're gonna run them out of your state and don't want our food? We're gonna charge you the fuck to get our food here.
We all got less people there now, so because everybody's coming here.
Well, that's not entirely true. There's plenty coming in from other places. And
true.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Like New York City has seen a population boom in the last few months, from what I've heard on the news. Texas has it's kind of balanced. It's a little bit balanced because we just put people on buses and just send them to either way. It's like, I said, fuck them. It's like no thanks. Like, here you go.
Here's a ticket.
Yeah.
Where's it to? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like New York or California. Oh, cool. It's like Chicago. Never mind. No. We don't want to go to Chicago.
Chicago don't want to be in Chicago.
Like we just came from Venezuela. We don't want to go to Chicago. No thanks.
There are people in Chicago that are like, how we get here?
They'll take Venezuela. Yeah, go south side. He's like, no thanks.
Well, then it's the thing. It's like when I look at what we do for groceries now. It's like I don't know. I get annoyed by it because it's like, look, my grandma, I remember a few years back, as gas is going up over the years, here's 1 year, grandma goes, gas is cheaper. I was like, well, technically, no. I mean, it's cheaper than it was last week.
Cheaper than it was a little while ago.
But it like 3 years ago, it was much, much cheaper.
Yep.
So what are you talking about, Granny? Yeah. Like, you're crazy.
I remember somebody recently saying, man, look at that. Inflation's down, according to Biden. He's so happy. I was like, down from... It's like, no, it's gone down like 3 points, like 3%. I was like, yeah, but it went up by 22% before that. So we're still on we're still on the increase. It doesn't matter. It went down by 3. It's like when the gas prices were going nuts like last year or year before. Like, and now we've really hit an average here of like the high 2s. Like even the premium stays in the low 3s right now. But I don't know what we're doing here to change that. I know what we're doing as a nation to do that, but I don't know how that affects us here in Texas because we don't produce as much as we used to.
Yeah, there's out here I see about 320. That's for the low end. There's one gas station. There are all these gas stations surrounding this one. Mm-hmm. And everyone's at about 323 roughly. Then this one gas station by itself is at like 4 and some change. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Where is their gas coming from?
Yeah. Like, I want to go over there one day just to see who's getting gas at that gas station.
That's for the Rolls Royces and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in Annapolis. So Annapolis, it's one of those mixed bags where it's like most of the vehicles you see out there are like these really, really nice, just fucking slick cars. And then,
Beers.
you'll get your occasional like jalopy, but
Jalopy.
like
How old?
but it's just like this one gas station. It was like, and this was just even today. I went to get gas, for the van, and I was like, okay, 327. This is, it's fine. This way, I'm not paying anyways. Fucking work.
Yeah, it's work gas. Yeah.
But I look across the street and I'm like, why? Why are you foreign some change? Like, I need to see what's going on in there.
Does it come with the free car wash? What?
Yeah, something. Please tell me. I need to know these things.
Is there a hand that comes out from the pump? Like, it's just like
jerk me off while I'm like getting
self-milking. Self-milking pumps. It's a different type of gas pump. It's a glory pump.
I mean, if it's that way, guess what work's paying for?
Yep.
It's like, why does Dante get so much gas every day? It's fucking weird. Like the
odometer, it takes so long. He's only put in 5 gallons, but it took him 15 minutes to pump 3 gallons. It was weird.
Like, it's so odd. You just see him out there like just spraying gas in the air
into the trash can to get the free hot dog. Fucking
like, what is this fucking lunatic doing over here? Like, you know what he's doing.
He's got one hand on the pump, the other hand out like this.
It's like, is he gonna be okay? Yep,
he's gonna be real okay here in a minute.
Give him a couple minutes. He'll come in and buy all the honey buns too.
Don't ask where the glaze came from.
Like, I don't know. It's just like the shit's so goofy, all of it, to the point where, I like when Steve, like this weekend, Steve was like, "You want to go out and get a drink?" I was like, "I guess." Like, I prefer not. Like, I'd rather just stay home and drink.
It costs too much to go to the bar.
Yeah, I think we went
because the markup on the beers at the bar is fucking stupid.
We went to one little bar. I think I got 2 Miller Lights. Oof. Yeah, that's it. We got 2 Miller Lights. I think it was somewhere around like fucking $10. I was like, okay,
for Miller,
like bottle. I was like, come on, dude.
That's probably old as shit. Probably been sitting there.
These were fine. I'm trying to think. We went to another bar where I had Blue Moon Draft, and it tasted a little suspect. I was like, this doesn't like how long has this been sitting there? Well, did anybody order this?
Well, because the other thing is that, well, I guarantee you people probably did, but odds are they probably put it on a line that had something else gross for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Because most places like that, they're not cleaning their lines between kegs.
No. So, like, I ordered a second one, and that one tastes better.
Okay.
But that first one, I was like, but the rest of the beer that they had, I was like, I'm not familiar with any of this shit. And let's just drink what I see. I see Blue Moon. Let's go ahead and grab it. And that second one tastes much better. But what was it? By the end, like the tab for that wasn't hateful between Steve, myself, and Brett, because they instead of giving us separate tabs, they put it all together, and we're sitting there trying to do the math. Mind you, we're Brett's sober, but he's dumb, and Steve and I are drunk. So I gave him my card. I was like, look, just whatever it needs to be, just fucking pay it. I don't care.
Just split it 3 ways. Fuck it. Make him pay for it, even though he didn't drink. He's like, wait.
Well, he got tacos.
Oh, so okay. So fuck him then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I just said, just take it. Just I'll pay it, whatever. But it was like 60, 63, all said and done. I was like,
yeah.
All right, this still sucks.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Like, well, because even breweries by themselves are not avoiding inflation at this point, because the one that I go to, regularly, even their normal drafts have gone up a little bit in price. And they're selling directly to you. They're making the shit literally in the back and then fucking selling it directly to you. So it used to be stupid cheap. It's still cheaper than going to a bar, but it's gone up in price.
And that was the thing. We were going to go to a brewery. And for whatever reason, you just said, because going out to Baltimore, I think one of the things, I know Steve enjoys this, is being able to bar hop.
Yeah.
Again, I don't care. Like, if it were up to me, I'd just go buy some beer at the liquor store and bring it
Yeah.
home.
Your bar hopping is just going from basement to the fridge back to the basement.
Yeah, maybe out to the back deck, for a
Oh yeah,
cigar,
that's even better.
you
Yeah,
know, and then back.
yeah,
But it's like for him, he likes to be out in that life. For being an introverted person,
hmm
I think he still feeds off that energy. Whereas I'm the opposite. I'm introverted. I can be extroverted, when it's time,
hmm
but I don't. I don't want. I'm not going to choose to be extroverted.
yeah.
You have to force me into it. And we were going to go to Heavy Seas,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was like, all right, that's good. Let's go to Heavy Seas. We've had quite a few of their beers anyway on the
it's good shit.
show,
Yeah,
and for whatever reason, we ended up going to Baltimore. And I was like, it's not good. I'm not trying to get shot tonight. I got shit to do. Like, we got to record. Trying to get me shot. But, uh, at the end of it all, it was just like kind of thinking, it's like, yo, we could have saved so much more money, not doing this trip. Again, either just getting and staying at home, or like you said, go to the brewery.
yeah,
And like you were saying, like, even them that, they're getting hit with markups. I had a friend, she had posted on Instagram the other day, she has a flower shop or whatever,
yeah.
and like someone just came, like, bought out all her stock, which she was very, very happy for. It was small business Saturday, so she was very, very grateful for. And one of the things she started talking about was like, unfortunately, she has to raise her prices because the price of everything is going up.
Yeah,
So
the ingredients cost more.
she has to, up her prices. And then she's like, look, and also, give myself a livable wage along with my employees. And I feel selfish for doing that. But, it's just the world we're in, unfortunately. Yeah. And, I was telling Sarah about that with the t-shirts for BJJ Wiki and Off the Mats.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped doing my shirts because when I first started, I was able to get away with $21 for a shirt, and I still turn a profit. And then they're like, okay, well, if you keep them at 21, you're going to be making literally like $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teespring the same way. Like, people were bitching about my prices, and I'm just like, I didn't set the prices. It's like, that's them. Yeah. It's like they leave the profit margins where they need to be so that you make anything. And then people are like, well, it costs too fucking much. $50 for a hoodie is ridiculous. And I'm like, I agree. I didn't set that price. But it's like, they're doing the work. They're buying the shit. They're shipping it to you. All I'm doing is getting the $6.50 maybe if you buy it.
Yeah.
But, it's like, I'm not messing with it. It's like, do I agree? Like, $7 for a sticker is kind of ridiculous. It's like, yeah. But that's like an extra if you're buying a bunch of other bullshit, It's like, it is what it is. It's like, shit just costs more. What do you want? It's like, you and I get it, because like I started buying shit from China instead of fucking American retailers because it costs so much more to buy fucking third-party Transformers now. It is like, yeah. I never cared before, and then now that everything's gotten so tight, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go buy one tiny Transformer, and I'm going to do it on a discount. Oh, I got points? Fuck yeah, I'm burning up fucking $17 in points. And it's like, free shipping? Fuck yeah, I'm doing free shipping. It's like, so now the $47 thing now only cost me $28 to ship to my house, whereas it still would have been $100 fucking dollars and $4 shipping from BBTS. It's just like, okay. Yeah. It's like, I hate doing it. I do hate doing it, but I got to take advantage where I can, and I still got to buy toys. So it's a problem.
Well, and that's something that, I always say with like our comic shop out here, Third Eye Comics. I know a lot of people out here hate Third. Like, it's weird because there are a lot of people that hate Third Eye, but Third Eye, I go in there, seems like they're doing well for themselves.
Yeah.
But it's like there are figures there. There are Marvel Legends there. I'll go check it. I was like, they're a lot better now, because it used to be they only had so much, and if you miss it, you miss it. Now they're well stocked. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the Legends are what, 25 a pop, which is, what they are anywhere else.
Yeah.
And, I feel shitty because it's like, well, I'll wait on Amazon because I know the price is going to drop on Amazon to like 17 at some points. Right. And it feels shitty to do that because, again, small business, you want to, support small local businesses, but I got bills to pay too, man. Maybe I should be buying action figures, I guess, but I mean,
you're not buying that many anymore.
No,
Not compared to the few years ago, but like
no.
because you're getting nearer to the end of your collection, much like myself.
Yeah.
But like, and I think even Dormammu posted about this in the realm about the like Black Friday sales or Cyber Monday sales. It's like, okay, so you're selling what used to be a $25 figure that's now $40 for $27, and you're calling that a discount. And I was like, no. It's like no. It's like the old joke where Walmart had the hour price and then the real price, but it was
Yeah.
the same price. You're like, wait. It's like that's supposed to be discounted because it's Walmart, and they're like, no. It's literally like that's the joke. It's like you're paying more now than we used to. Like, dude, the action figure inflation's been ridiculous. Like, and now some of these you're not. It's great when they give you like a deluxe figure and you get like a fuckload of stuff with it if you like your accessories. But
Yeah.
but that used to be $30, give or take. Now it's 45. It's like what the fuck? And then your 1999 figure is now 25.99, which was 24.99 last year. So it's like what the fuck? And then like some of them, I don't even remember where I saw this. Oh, it was at a local Walmart, and they had clearance of like old ass Black Series, like really old Black Series figures, and they were legit $1. Like $1 off.
Yeah.
$1 off. I was like, that's not clearance pricing. It's like you're not even adjusting for inflation. It's like this is a coupon at best. It's like I spent more than $1 to come here to look for this stupid figure.
We're out at Walmart near Pinkerton's house
Oh yeah.
a few months back, and just I don't collect GI Joe classified series or anything, but I saw Baroness for $1, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. And
So she was actually
like
legit $1. Okay, nice. Did somebody fuck that up? Like how? How did that go down to one? That should have been 11. I feel like it should have been 11 and someone fucked it up. But they're like, no,
So-
it's been and that's wait, is that the
Once
from the
you-
movie Baroness or is that the because it looks like,
yeah,
yeah, that's the Snake Eyes Baroness.
Snake Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they were getting rid of it.
When she rung it up, I think it came up to like $7.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, 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 no.
This
We're not,
is-
no.
this is
that sticker says
$1.
$1, and that's why I'm buying it.
Yep.
Like like
Yeah.
so much so that it's still in the box. I
Yeah.
have no need for it, but I was like, look, I'll give you guys $1 just so I can say I bought an action figure for $1.
Once in your life, and it was brand new. Like, because I remember I picked up a damaged, you know, those little real TV things, the ones that play like they have,
yeah.
So it's got like I bought the Back to the Future one because I wanted to put it with my Ninja Turtles. So in my mind, Back to the Future came out a little before the Ninja Turtles were old enough in 1989. So they're watching it on the shitty TV, right? That thing had a damaged package and it was in clearance. So normally they were like $20 and they had reduced it to like 11. But when I checked out, it was 17. But I'm like, I got to get out of here because I'm at work and I'm shopping on the clock. So I'm not going to fight it, but like this is fucking stupid. I was like pissed about it. Like it's like I only saved $3 instead of fucking $8, $9. But still worth it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of, you know, when I look at things now, when we're getting Christmas stuff for my daughter now, it's like, you know, just trying to find those deals. It's like,
Dude.
God damn.
We already decided we're really not doing Christmas this year, like because with the car note and everything else, we're just like it's going to be really tight. Like, I mean, I could probably scrape together, you know, maybe $100 to buy something for Jessica, which I can. I mean, assuming my hours don't get completely destroyed this month, which that was one setback. So come back from having Thanksgiving off to find out that they've changed our start time. So normally we start about 6, but because things are now delayed a little bit due to the holiday, they're pushing us back to 6:30. I was like, okay, but now that means that to get my minimum hours, I have to stay till 10. And I'm like, are you going to make sure we have enough work to do that? And they're like, and I'm like, no, we have minimum hours. Like, you have to fulfill that one way or the other. Either you have to pay it, even if we don't work it, or you got to find us the work to do. And it's like, well, we'll see what happens. And then they asked me Saturday, they're like, hey, we're probably going to be shorthanded. Can you come in and do this? Otherwise, there's not going to be any work for you. Because normally I work Saturday. And I'm like, I guess we'll see with how bad my back is and everything. I'll hope for the best. And then it wasn't terrible, but it was the most amount of work I've done in such a short amount of time, like ever in my 17 years of doing this job. And I mean, they screwed up a bunch. They sent multiple people to do the same job, but didn't tell the other people that they were coming. So that was even stupider. I mean, like and then I got yelled at for like, why didn't you go do this? I was like, because the other guy was doing it. It's like, you were supposed to go too. I was like, why would we send 2 people to do that? It makes no fucking sense. It's like a normal day makes sense, but today is not normal anymore. It's like that one guy, and then that one guy did all the shit, and then he went and did something I was supposed to do because nobody told him not to. And it's like, so I showed up later and it was already done. I was like, I'm glad, but damn it, like that's like 40 minutes I didn't get. You know, and then we were supposed to go to the other family Thanksgiving when I got off work, but by then Jessica was like really fucking sick. So it's like, God damn it! I was just like, it's on top of everything else. It was just that past week was ridiculous. I know, like we started out talking about that stuff and then went into inflation for like a long time because that's everyone's. Well, no, that was my fault. I brought it up. But it's just like, and then of course it rolls into everything we do, like. Yeah, I wanted to go see the Marvels. You know, we were talking about that earlier. I don't know if that's going to be part of the main episode. We're talking about went and saw the Marvels. By the way, go watch that review whenever he does drop it, right? If and when. That was the one with the bad audio. We'll see.
It should be... Wait, I'm recording with Phil on Saturday, so it should be Monday. So okay. I don't know when this goes out. But
this will go out Friday.
So yeah, it'll be Monday. Go check it out, y'all.
There you go. And that'll be on...
it'll be off the
That's awesome. I was like, I know people want to joke to think that would be on So You Like Horror, but no. So yeah. By the way, Dante's links are in the description down below, guys. Go support everything he does, because he works way too hard to not have enough attention. Not like me. I'm pretty fucking lazy and nobody sees my shit, so it's okay. But actually,
I have a high level of lazy too. Trust me.
Yeah, but you got a crazy work ethic when you're not being lazy. Like it's the dichotomy, but I don't call that laziness. That's just being tired. It's like you do so much over here that by the time you get over to here, you're like, fuck it.
Actually, we talked about that on the most recent episode of Off the Mats with a young lady. We'll talk about neurodivergence and ADHD and things like that, and how in school we might have been called lazy. It's like, well, it's not that we're lazy. It's just we didn't want to do that shit that you're teaching us.
That's what happened to me.
We want to do this over here.
Yeah.
and like when I'm doing podcasts,
yeah,
when I'm doing like the notes and everything, I'm a madman. But if you're like, hey Dante, we need you to look some other shit up, and it's not related to horror movies, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not interesting, so you don't put the effort in, and that's not laziness. It's just focusing on what you feel is important. But then, but it's the work ethic. That's the thing. Is like, and sometimes I will go nuts with the stuff. Like, I mean, I used to film like fucking 7 reviews a day and fucking get them edited within the week, you know. So, but now it's like, oh yeah, I've got a whole pile of stuff over there I'm supposed to have reviewed by now. I'll get to it eventually. But also, just with everything else going on, I've just been so distracted and then depressed in the interim. So it's like just getting that motivation to get back out there. But you mentioned that about school back in the day. I think if I was going back through school now as a kid and acted the same way, they would probably put me in some neurodivergent category. But it's like, because I was always like a super smart kid, like, so I learned because I wanted to learn, like even off the like I could read and write going into kindergarten. Like that's abnormal. Like, so it's just like that. But then also later on, it's so funny. Like I was in like all the what do they call it? Not the fucking college courses you can do in high school, that kind of shit, whatever they call that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's different names for it, whatever, advanced education or whatever the fuck. I think it was CA or something. I don't remember anymore. College, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I got to a point where I'm just like, this is too much fucking work. I don't want to do this. I was like, it's like I can, and the funny thing is, like, I was in those classes up until I think it was sophomore year. I think it was sophomore year, and I just said, nah, I don't want to do this. It was like, and then my mom's like, well, we're doing all this stuff to get you ready for college and get into there. And I'm just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And she's like, well, you're gonna do it. It's like, no, I'm gonna do the bare minimum just to show you that I can do nothing and still pass. And I did. It's like I literally, it's like I didn't do any extra work. I got into it was English 1301 or whatever the first fucking English course is, and it was so badly done by the teacher, and a lot of it was like writing shit that I didn't have any interest in, and then reading this thing and doing fucking worksheets. This is when worksheets were really beginning to become a thing, where they just basically copied shit out of the book, handed it to you, and said, "Here, write your thoughts," or whatever bullshit, and then it turned into complete worksheet madness after that, where it's like you weren't taught anything, you were just handed a book and a worksheet, and you just did your shit sitting at your desk, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well, because that's what was going on with my ex's kid at the time, and she clearly didn't learn well that way. But anyway, so like I fucked off the whole first semester of that year. The whole first semester. I did nothing. It was like we were supposed to have written like 5 fucking papers, like college level papers and shit like that. And I'm like, no. I was just doing the day-to-day work just to get by. At one point, I had a 23 in that class, like just fucking nothing, like just like it was like, we're glad you're here, like this. And then it came down to the last paper of the semester, and it was finally something I could be creative in. So they said, do a classification and division paper on whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to just read the thing and write about a thing, I can just do what I want. And I got a fucking 98 on it. It's like she even wrote like a teacher's note on there. It's like, this is really well done and this kind of stuff, and all this. I'm like, it's like basically she'd never seen me do any real work the whole time I was in there. I was just like, you're a shitty teacher. What do you want? It's like, I don't want to be here. I have to be here. You're a shitty teacher. And then I fucking do the one thing that allows me to have my own creativity and intelligence applied to it, and I fucking knock it out of the park, and I get by with just passing for college because they grade it like college. And then they turn around the next semester and put me in the remedial English class to make sure I passed. Oh my god, it was. And I had not been in normal level classes since like the 3rd grade, so I was just like, I have no idea what normies go through. And I got into that class, and I'm like, I'm a super genius. I was like, I was like, this is where all the jocks and weirdos were. I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, they did that to me. I want to say it was either junior or senior year. I ended up, I was probably junior year. I ended up having to do like 2 Englishes. I had to do whatever year's English that I was supposed to be in, and then like a remedial one.
Yeah.
Dude, there were kids in that class that legitimately could not read.
Yeah.
So we were reading, I remember we were reading out loud. And
the
it went
good
to this
old
one
days.
dude. It went to this one dude, and oh my god, like I'm reading along with it. And I want to start fucking just correcting them and reading the words for them. And then it gets to me. And I blow through that shit like a goddamn fucking, rock star. And I was like, and then that's when it clicked. I was like, yo, I need to stop fucking around.
Yeah.
Because I'm not supposed to be in this classroom with them.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. And I remember, fast forward, or not fast forward, but jump over to my other English class I was supposed to be in for grade level.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a sub, because the regular teacher had a mental breakdown and she was out for like a year. And I remember the sub, he was a former student, newly graduated from college. Now he's subbing at where he graduated from high school. And I remember he comes to me, this is like, months later. He says to me, I'm going to give you a B because you're quiet. You're not bothering me. Everyone else was like a nightmare in the class. And this was the regular class.
Jesus.
And he was like, everyone was a nightmare. He was like, I know you can do the work, but you're just quiet and you're not doing it.
You're not bugging out like everyone else. Yeah.
So just take this B. You're welcome. I was like, all right, that's cool. So it was this weird thing where it's like, I'm in one class where it's like, I know I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm coasting. Now I go to my regular class where it's like, I'm taking naps and just, kind of being unseen. And he was like, look, I'm just going to give you the grade.
Yeah.
Like, you're earning a grade just by not being a dick. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. I mean,
if only that lesson applied to the rest of life.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick and you'll pass through everything.
It does with me.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if you're cool, you always get a pass with me. But if you're a dick, then it's like, one day I'm going to whip your ass.
Yep. Someday soon. You're like Hand Banana. You're like, you tonight. And they're like, what? It's like, you see Dante in a dark alley, he just throws a mat down, and they're like, what's happening? He like pulls a gi up. You're like, what is going on?
I hand him a gi. They're like, no. I was like, oh, you're a no gi guy. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, that's cool.
That's even better. Like, what?
Such a fucked up version of Batman. You're Matman.
Just dropping out of shadows with mats.
No, you're just standing there like shit on your shoulder. They just turn the corner. You're just in the dark, Matman.
They're like, what?
Like, I don't know what's
Who
happening.
Who are you?
You throw them a cup and a gi, and they're like, what's happening?
Like, the cup is extra.
Yeah.
I actually trained a couple weeks ago. I was trained a couple weeks ago, and I'm going with a purple belt, which is higher ranked than me. I'm a blue belt. He's a purple belt.
Yeah.
And he went to do a knee cut, which is basically not good for your balls.
Mm.
And his knee hit my cup.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, wait a minute, are you wearing a cup? And I go, yeah, it's a hobby, dude. I'm not sacrificing my nuts. And just full weight.
Oh, no.
I was like, all right, no problem then. So, again, wasn't affected. It didn't hurt me. But it was one of those things where I was like just because it's there doesn't mean you need to use it now as leverage.
Yeah,
you don't need to use it.
You're like, give us protection. You're like, no, it's not. It's just a new way for me to hurt you.
I'm the only one in the class that wears a cup.
Yeah.
Because the way I explain it is, this is a hobby for me. It's not a hobby that's worth my nuts.
Yeah.
Because anytime I don't wear a cup, I for sure get kicked in the nuts.
I mean,
and
it's fair thought. But now it brings up the question: what's a hobby that's worth your nuts?
I don't know. Depends on fucking.
That's not a hobby though.
I mean, it could be. Depends on how you're rocking and rolling. If you're just going out to places and Margot Robbie's there, it's like that's a hobby to me.
Okay, that's different. That's I don't know. That's luck, is what that is.
That is true. But if she wants me to sacrifice my nuts, I'd consider it. But I don't think I would go through with it.
Well, I mean, you're not going to be able to follow through if you have to sacrifice your boys going in.
Exactly.
Or
so
during.
It have to be one of these like, so are you paying first and then we're sacrificing? What's going on here? So but there are those weird guys that like to get kicked in the nuts for funsies though.
Yeah, Steve-O exists.
That's look, man, I'm not into that shit. Like, look, if Margot Robbie wants to like put me in a fucking rear naked choke or a heel hook or something, I'm willing to sacrifice my ACL for her. But
yeah, a knee's a knee, but I need my balls.
Yeah, I need my balls. Like ACL, I'm cool. A year out, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. It's like, yeah, they can fix that. It's like, but you never get over the trauma of your balls getting, oh my God, almost anything.
Like I tried to play leapfrog with a fucking wiffle ball bat as a kid, and I jumped up and didn't make it over.
Didn't make it over the bat. Nope.
I was shook, but like when I was 6, I don't think I was right until I was 9.
Yeah, that was the highest Dante's voice has ever been. And then it really dropped after that.
After that, my balls were like,
it had no choice.
Like, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure?
There was a girl back in the day who would always fucking kick you in the balls. That was like her thing. I don't know. I think that's her brother taught her or something like that. And like she eventually she became like country girl hot, like fucking tight jeans and fucking like whatever tied up shirt. Not quite Daisy Dukes, but she definitely filled out very nicely. Because she was like a super tomboy back then, and then eventually she embraced the girliness. But then she would fuck you up. and thank God she stopped doing that once she started wearing boots. But oh my God, dude, like just the amount of impact my young testicles went through were pretty crazy. But like, I fell down the stairs and fucked my knees up really bad. Back last year. I'd rather do that than have some like ball torture situation, like Casino Royale shit.
No.
No. I'll fall down the stairs again twice if I have to. I'll start at the top. Like I'll sacrifice elbows, knees, and everything. It's like not my boys. Sorry, they're too much.
And that's the whole thing. It's like with Margot Robbie. It's like I would consider it, but after some careful thinking and realizing, wait a minute, like think about what you're doing here, dude.
Yeah,
like it's your nuts.
Exactly.
Like you might have the time of your life, but you can't go back and enjoy that time of your life and your thoughts and jerk off to it because, well, your balls have just been ripped off.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I went to the full extreme, but still, like when I think sacrifice, I'm thinking sacrifice.
Yeah. Them being gone or crushed or whatever, something terrible, non-functional. Because I worked with a guy who you did not fuck with this guy at all. Like I saw him actually angry once, and I literally got away as fast as I fucking could. Like it's like I was at work, so I can only get away so far. But I'm just like, okay, he's actually pissed. I'm going over there and hiding behind tires. It's like because he's gonna fucking hurt someone. I was like, he is fucking pissed. He wasn't mad at me, but I didn't want to be in the path of vengeance. Because at one point he said, like, you know what you do whenever if you ever get into a bar fight? I'm like, spit beer in his eye? He's like, no. You fucking just grab him by the ball and you keep squeezing until it pops. And I'm just like,
whoa.
Yeah. It's like, he didn't even say when the guy stops doing anything. He said, you don't stop till it pops. And it's like, I mean, that's a lawsuit, Mike, but I mean, okay. It's like, I trust you and I'm going to go over there now. Thanks for the random words of wisdom.
I mean, I'm not above grabbing balls if I know I'm about to lose this fight.
Yeah.
You're going down with me, but I'm not going to that level. That's my God.
That's not just stopping this fight. That's stopping any fight ever for that guy is what just happened. Or who knows? Maybe he'll come back stronger next time. I don't know. He ain't going to come, but he might come back. I'll tell you what, though. I made the mistake of trying to jerk off with blue balls one time, thinking it would alleviate it, and it was 10 times worse.
Sometimes you just got to power through.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but the thing is, it's just like when I did finally release, as it were, it hurt so much more than just the blue balls. It's like, okay, next time, just let them calm down. It's like, I learned my lesson then. I don't even remember what set that off. I think I don't remember the situation, but either way, I could not take care of the situation when it was necessary, and then I tried to come back later, and it was a bad plan.
The dark gift is different for all of us. I didn't have that issue. I went through, and I was like, whew.
It was relief.
All right.
It was relief. Yeah. I think it was me and my girlfriend were messing around, and we weren't having sex at that point. I think is what it was. This was like way back in the day. Because there's other times where, like, first time I got a blowjob, was really had no skill, no ability, no skill, no ability. To be fair, she was like 16. I was 16, so it's what it is.
You kids, what do you know?
Yeah, exactly. She wanted to, so I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm not going to say no. I was like, this is a new sensation. Let's rock and roll. 25 minutes later, I'm just like, I'm just going to go finish this because this is going nowhere. And my mom's going to walk in at some point. It's like that was whenever the door was not allowed to be 100% closed. And I'm sitting there getting a fucking blowjob just on the bed. And it's like luckily my mom had walked in on me and another girlfriend just making out once. And she'd learned her lesson that if we're in my room to not come back there, just yell from the kitchen. Yeah. But that would have been, there's no explaining away someone's head in your lap,
Look, she's trying.
What do you want me to do? It's like I'll be right back. So that's basically what happened there. Damn, that's a conversation I want to have whenever I have like a full cast of characters here, a whole bunch of firsts. Conversations. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Not just necessarily sexual, but something else. what was I gonna say? Oh, I did watch a weird fucking movie the other day based off of a like Instagram reel that I saw, and it was actually based off like Journey to the West, the Monkey King story. Have you ever heard anything like that? And I actually found, thank God, it was on Tubi, so that was great.
Of course.
And it was basically what was it actually called? Because like there were multiple names. I think it was Immortal Demon Slayer Wukong is what it was called, if I remember. And it's full on. It's a full on Chinese cinema. I think it's from 2017, and it's definitely like a whole lot of like CG and stuff like that. But it's Asian CG, which is supremely different than American. But like I saw the final. Of course, the thing that is shown in the reel is the final climactic battle, but it looks so badass. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this whole movie. I don't care. It's like it just looks so fucking cool. It's like as an anime fan, I'm like, this is how you do live action anime. You go full ridiculous. It's like, don't try to make it real. That doesn't work. Make it fully ridiculous and embrace the absurdity that is an anime world. But it was all Chinese lore, it's got like Sun Wukong, I'm assuming, Chinese. It's got, the immortals, the quote unquote gods end up, they're selfish. So they just like take a whole bunch of shit from Earth. And then there was another immortal being that lived where they had their shit. It was Mount something or other. I can't remember the name of it. And that was like his place where like at the end of the day, he would chill at the top of the mountain and watch a badass sunset. And then they just said, nope, this is ours. Fuck off. And so he swore vengeance because they took away his chill time. And they just called, he was called back then, it's like just called the dumbass monkey is really what they called him. So he said, it's like, I'm the one who is greater than all the gods. I will swear my revenge. And so like thousands of years go by or hundreds of years go by and he shows up in like their version of Olympus, basically, and he's like, he shows up, he's like, I'm here, bitches. It's like, where's my mountain? It's like he just shows up, and he's like a goofball character, but he's so powerful. Like you got all these immortal beings that are basically like divvied up, into their different stuff. Here's your like silent assassin corps. This is your pretty beautiful women and stuff like this. Whatever. They're just and he just shows up and embarrasses like almost everyone who fucking comes at him at first. It's fucking nuts. And he's like basically just a raggedy kind of humanoid looking, like basically a human, but with more hair. And I'm like, okay, I know at some point due to what I saw in the cover art, he has to become more monkey-like. I was like, so when is that going to happen? That does happen down the line. But okay. Like I fell asleep multiple times, like at the beginning of the movie. I just picked the worst time to watch it. So I was just like fucking falling asleep. So I missed some context in the first like 30 minutes. But the rest of the story, I was like, okay, how did they end up back on Earth? I was like, I missed some shit. What happened? So it's like, it's him, it's Wukong, and then several other immortals that he was kind of fighting with, all ended up falling to Earth somehow. I missed it, like I said. And then like they have to live in the human condition. They no longer have their powers and shit. I guess whatever they said, they fell through this portal. Their powers stayed behind. So on Earth, they had nothing. They had their skills, but no powers. And immortality was apparently gone, but it is what it is. And there's this demon that just stolen all the water from everything, and it's a big fucking cloud like Galactus and fucking Fantastic Four. And so they have to come up with this crazy way to kill it without their powers. So it's pretty fun. Like, I mean, the acting it's like straight up. Like I watch the subs because dubs are for idiots. I like to see my subtitles and hear the original shit because I'm not looking at fucking lip flaps. Fuck that. It's annoying. Yeah. Like the acting is both over the top and exactly what it should be. Because like the humans that are in it, they act like normal people, but it's all the gods and the immortal beings that act ridiculous. So because they live an over the top existence, they act over the top all the time. It's like everything is super dramatic no matter what they do. And then there's like the evil fucking queen bitch of heaven who's trying to do something, get this crazy stone of power. I don't know. I missed that part. It's like that plot is like that's supposed to be like the overall plot, but it really isn't. It's like that's the funny part about the movie. It's like no, we're following this plot. That stuff just keeps going on, and you're just like, are we still doing that? I forgot about that. We're doing all this for like 35 minutes. And it's like, but the special effects are so ridiculous and beautiful. Like And it's one of those movies that, it's like a fuckload of green screen and then they just filled in all of the effects. But it's fun. It looks like top of the line PS3 graphics sometimes, but in like the good way, like the God of War fucking like cutscenes kind of shit. But it's like, man, this is fucking awesome. I was like, and there are games based on the story, so that does exist. But like, at some point, like in the lore, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, gets so powerful that he takes on Buddha. Like it's only him and Buddha left. Like, it's like that's it. It's like, so that's kind of what was this was setting up. And there are other movies that I think are unconnected, but it was a lot of fun. I was like just based off this one scene at the end of the fucking movie that I got to see. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. I'm gonna watch this. And then like there's just a lot of cool shit that happened that I'm not even gonna get into, but that because like all the TV shows that I've been watching have basically ended right now. They're like in a weird lull of TV.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no new Disney properties, so I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my life? I don't have Star Wars or Marvel to watch.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I just realized. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there's no new Star Wars, no new Marvel right now because they had to make room for the Marvels. So it is what it is. Did you get a chance to get after Loki, or because I know last time you were on Nerd Rage? Okay,
yeah, we finished up Loki. I liked it. I liked everything about Loki. I enjoyed season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, it was a different enjoyment for me.
Yeah,
because I think the way that the things with Marvel was done, it's like I feel like the way that Loki ended, that's supposed to play out, in a couple other properties, and then you come back to Loki.
Yeah,
it kind of didn't wrap that all up. That didn't quite go the way I think that the expectation, but Loki season 2 still works, and it still springboards, shit, that's coming down the line. So
definitely,
I enjoyed it for that. And when I look at all these things, I'm enjoying the property for what it is in the moment. Versus, I know a lot of folks, I think, any complaints or whining for Loki or any other properties is expectations of what it should have been in their mind. And it's like, look, man, just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
And like it or don't like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it, but let it be.
And I like that they, for the most part, kind of wrapped up most of the character storylines. I mean, there's still tales out there to mess with. And of course, the way the TVA has been fixed, quote unquote. But I like how they just kind of, now the TVA is turned into finding the Kang variants instead. It's like, so now his creation has become the thing that hunts him down, which, and they did reference Ant-Man, and Quantumania.
Yeah.
But I think the solution, like the buildup of Loki's character from season 1 till the end of this season was like so well done, in my opinion. It's like, he was such a shitbag. Like he was fresh out of 2012 Avengers, shitbag level of ego, to turning into someone who sacrificed everything he wanted so that his friends would be able to live.
So that was one thing that, and it took me a second to kind of, reconnect the dots. I was like, well, wait a minute. We have to keep in mind, this is the Loki that came from New York, and that was full villain Loki. And then he became this Loki, something doesn't connect. But then thinking about when he got to see, the play out of Thanos killing him.
Yeah, that changed him.
Thor holding him. I think, that was that moment that then made it click like, oh, these things are possible. And I had a relationship with my brother.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was a turning point. So if you take it from that point, and it maybe some people didn't even look at that. People just looked at, okay, it's Loki, and we're enjoying Loki for what it is, as I said, but there was that one little nitpick that I had, but then, stepping back and thinking for a second, I was like, well, when you look at that point there, Dill, and then where he goes, it all connects perfectly fine. And his character,
it's logical. It
works.
And it's the same thing. So basically this Loki followed a similar track to the original Loki, except for the fact that he didn't lose his mom and all that other stuff. Ragnarok didn't happen, all that to him, but he saw it happen.
Yes.
So he saw what would happen if he kept going down this path as it was. Well, the original path, not the new one, because he stole the fucking space stone. But because we don't know how that was going to play out. That I want to see that universe where he keeps the space stone and goes and does his own fucking rampage. The thing if the TVA never got involved would have been interesting. But I liked dude. One of the biggest things that I loved was the episode when everything like he's trying to gather the team back after TVA empties out. And Sylvie's like, I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm just going back to my world. And then she goes back to her world, and then you see it unraveling slowly in the background. Like, the one dude, like, opens the door or whatever, but disappears. And then, like, the guy at the counter, he, like, just disappears. Like, well, she sits down to go put the record on. I'm like, dude, this is a horror movie. It's like, in that moment, it turned into a horror movie. The final girl, as it were, doesn't realize, she checks the fuck out, puts the music on, and doesn't realize the shit is coming for her in that moment. It's like, I was like, that literally, it turned into, I mean, like, obviously by the end of it, everything's undone, but like, literally at that point, she's the only person who was going to escape this world alive, and conveniently the world collapsed around where she was to give her the last second to, escape. But like, I think also the fact that Loki went through hundreds and hundreds of years of watching his friends die over and over so that he could learn everything he needed to learn to figure out the problem. I'm just like, okay, this has now become Doctor Who. Like, it is very much Doctor Who. And like, I even said it about, I said it a couple weeks ago. I said, Loki season 1 was the best season of Doctor Who we've had in 5 years. Loki season 2 is still the best season of Doctor Who that we've had in fucking years. And it's like, because he becomes, no joke, a Time Lord. Like, by then, he becomes the god of stories, but he's literally the god of time at that point, just holding the universes together at the center of a new world tree or something. Like, it's just like, and you see that they did this with the Loki character. It makes what they did to Thor a bigger insult. It's like the Sons of Odin came out so fucking different. Like, if we eventually get to, like, somehow get to, like, Rune King Thor in the MCU, that will be amazing. But we are so fucking far from that version of Thor, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think that's, again, the big issue with the MCU properties in itself. And I don't want to say it's a complete issue because, again, you want to sell, to your casuals or your normies out there, something. But to make Thor a fucking punchline the entire way through, where we already saw, we watched the first Thor, and he's kind of, the fallen son, but this is a story of redemption. You get to Dark World, and people hated Dark World because it was dark. And it's like, well, in the title,
it literally is. It's right there. It's the Dark World,
fun world.
Yeah.
So you get to that, and you had your comic relief character in there with Kat Dennings and
Kat
Dennings. Oh my god, dude, I love her so much.
Yes,
she's a cutie pie.
The pale queen.
Oh yeah, and you put the red lipstick on.
Red lipstick.
Stars and Garters.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
I'll get her in Stars and Garters. I'll be really happy.
but you have that movie. We're still on a good track with Thor. Then we get Age of Ultron, and still on a good track with Thor. Because after the Vision, he was like, "Look, I gotta go tend to something," and then we get to Ragnarok, and Ragnarok. It might have been you I was talking with. I was talking with someone about it because the big thing about it was like the goofiness of the movie, but it was still a dark movie.
Very.
But the goofiness was kind of like that big overshadowing part.
Yeah.
That again, that's how you bring in your general audience, and they enjoyed that. Meanwhile, in the background, you got a very dark story going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to Infinity War, where we still see this Thor that is like,
broken.
He's Thor.
Yeah, he's broken, but he's still Thor.
Yeah. And then after that, we get to Endgame, and now there's an emotional thing going on here. He's giving up, but within that port of it, they play the whole he's a gamer now, and he's talking shit to gamers, online, and it's like, okay, now we're taking it to the silly again. And we're trying to pull the punchlines, and then you get to Love and Thunder, and it's just full on
nothing but
gag reel
fucking
after gag
punchline.
reel.
They made Jane's fucking stage 4 terminal cancer a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, why? This is a dark fucking storyline from the comics.
Yeah, you have something that you can work with, that you can still build this character as a strong character, and still have that. I know people might be thinking, oh well, all you want is doom and gloom. Well, I mean, that's a part of the journey, though.
Yeah, it's like if we got Spider-Man with a happy fucking. It's like if we got a happy Spider-Man, it would be wrong. It's like that's why it was great at the end of No Way Home, that they didn't undo it, even though he absolutely could. It's like, no, we need a miserable Peter Parker, because a happy Spider-Man doesn't stay Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, that's the whole, like, I've been fucking around with some of the older issues, reading Secret Wars, and I was like, the old Secret Wars, and I was like, maybe I'll go back and read some of the old what ifs. And one of the what ifs is, what if Uncle Ben hadn't died?
Yeah.
And I haven't read it, but I mean, you could imagine if Uncle Ben hadn't died,
wouldn't have Spider-Man.
We don't have that broken kid who is fighting for something now.
Oh, this is how we get into the Spider-Verse movies, because they said that's the canon moment for all the Spider-Men, so they have to have an Uncle Ben moment. So that means he can't be a Spider-Man at that point. Speaking of which, did you see the trailer for Madam Web?
So I did, and so I saw the trailer. Sadly enough, we talked about it on the broken episode of Off the Mats that is never going to air. But and Phil was super excited about it. I'm going to be honest, I was bored. But the thing is, I don't know Madam Web. I don't
know this version. I know old ass Madam Web. I don't know the young one, how she got to be her thing.
Yeah. So I'm interested, but like I said, that trailer, I was like, okay, I just let me go see the movie. Don't give me a trailer.
Yeah. See, I'm interested, but I'm not invested, and I think that's the best way to be, because I've got nothing to lose. It's like go in. Like, it's like, okay, this is an extra alternate universe Spider-Man movie, and we need more of that to build it out. And they're like, and people were bitching about the Kraven thing. I'm like, I like the Kraven character. I want to see what they do with him. It might be absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, he basically is bit by a lion, and he suddenly has lion powers. But I mean, like, okay, it's like we've had more ridiculous power origins, so it's fine. It's like, and what's his face got super jacked for it, so I'm like, I'm here. I was like, yeah, let's fucking see Aaron Taylor Johnson fucking literally tear up the fucking screen like a fucking monster. I was like, I'm on board. The fucking evil ass Spider-Man, the way they redid that from Madam Web, is like, that character is very, very different from that, but once again, retelling, who cares? It's like, my biggest problem was Dakota Johnson playing Madam Web. I'm just like, she still looks like she's from fucking 50 Shades of Grey. Like, can this girl get a better haircut? For the love of God, bangs are not the way. Please stop it. It's like, you somehow got your totally banged in and out on these fucking movies, but you didn't learn bangs are terrible on you. Fucking dumbass. It's like, she must have a horrible forehead. That's the only thing I can guess.
I was just about to say it.
She's got to have a 5 head.
It's got to be an extra large forehead, or maybe she's got a bad scar. I don't know.
I mean, I'll take a scar. There's something to look at.
I love scars. It's personality.
Yeah. It's just like, what the fuck? I just like, she seriously has this. Maybe she has no hair at all, and it's just the same wig.
Ooh, I like it.
I mean, it could be the thing. I mean, maybe she's got that Jada problem, and she's, just don't point it out. Her dad will punch you on stage. Old ass Don Johnson coming up stage to slap you very slowly.
I will trip his old ass.
No, I just sit there like, are you okay? It's like, your seat's over there, sir.
He starts yelling at me. He's like, are you okay, sir? I think, hey, he's having an episode, guys.
He's my daughter's name.
Like, I don't know. Something's wrong with this guy.
What is he, like 79 now? Something like that. He's up there. He's either older than Joe Biden or not. That's just how we live now.
I don't. Yeah, I think that's kind of the measurement. Is like older or younger than Biden.
Yeah, and Biden just turned 80. So I mean, it is what it is.
I think he turned 81.
No,
right?
I think he just turned 80.
Just 80?
Yeah. Well, no, I think you might be right. I think he did just turn 81 because he went in as the oldest president ever elected, and that was like at 78, I think.
Hold on, someone's at my front door. What the fuck's going on here? So it's weird that we have the ring joint and it interrupts my TV.
Yeah. I've seen that package.
Like, No, I'm not sure what's going on. Well, I'm watching. My wife's talking to whoever it is right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
think there are captions.
Is it really?
I don't know. There's something at the bottom of the screen. It's like a
Yeah.
picture in picture.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know. It's
Maybe she'll punch him.
I hope
It's a
it
Mormon.
gives me a reason to fly off. That no, I don't know. I like letting the Mormons come in though. They're weird, but
Never
I like
let
letting
them
them
in.
come in
Never
because
let
they
them
do chores.
Oh, okay. That's fair point. That's a fair point.
So-
Is there anything we can do for you? Well,
That's
It's
what
like-
they say.
it's like, well, we got a Christmas tree to put up.
I mean, I was in the midst of like cleaning my house once, and they're
Yeah.
like, they came over, and I was, they asked if they could help, and I didn't want to mop the floor, so I was like, well, I was about to mop. You mind? So
Sure, we'll do
they
that.
mopped, and we continued to talk about Joseph Smith.
Nice.
It was fun.
Nice.
So
I mean, I never took advantage of that. I mean, the only thing I've only let them in once, and that's because it was hot as hell, and the poor dudes were out there. They're young guys, in their shirts and ties, and I was just like, did you guys? It's like, were y'all dropped off? It was at our old apartment complex, and I'm like, dude, it's hot as hell out there. It's middle of summer. It's like I'll let y'all in for right now until your ride comes back. It's like, I don't need to hear about the good word of whatever. I'm covered. But if y'all want some water, and you want to cool off for a little bit, I'll give you a little rescue here, buddy.
actually, it looks like it was a delivery because I'm playing back the video now. He has a package in his hand, so I don't know. But it's weird. Like this one TikTok account that I follow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I tend to follow most accounts for twerk videos, but every so often a pretty girl gets in there, and this pretty girl got in there, and all she talks about is like, and it's not negative stuff, It's basically like women self defense and defending yourself, and just being cautious. And one of the things that she's been pointing out lately is like, people knocking on the door, and if it's just a wife or a mom at home by herself and they answer the door, and then they bum rush the house, and it's like, for a while we had a relatively strict policy. Hey, don't open the door if we're not expecting company. Don't answer that door. Like,
Exactly.
now with the ring, it's gotten a little bit lax because it's like, oh, we can just look and see what's going on, but they're clearly not looking because I do. People be like, they'll knock on the door and I'm sitting right there on the couch and they can see me.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't know you.
Yeah, I've done that on Halloween. But also, who the fuck goes knocking in an apartment complex? Actually, I will say this year we did have a family come by at Halloween, and I gave them some candy because I just bought 2 bags of candy for us. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I can have some. These kids, I'm like, I said like, here, y'all can have a couple. They just went like, oh, what the fuck ever. It was 3 kids. And I was like,
do you not know what couple means?
Look, I didn't give them the Reese's. Okay, they got the other shit. I kept the fucking Reese's to myself like a good boy.
Of course.
It's like, you don't give up the fucking Reese's. You shitting
Dude,
me?
I'm allergic to Reese's and I don't give those shits away. I keep them.
Dude, I feel so sad for you.
No, I still eat them.
I know, but it's still sad that you don't get to technically enjoy them at 100%. You don't know what it's
No,
not like to be, it's like me. It's like I eat a lot of cheese. It's really bad for me. But I bet it would be amazing if I didn't have lactose intolerant or an upset fucking gut. Which, by the way, I don't think I've even mentioned here. I don't remember if I told you or not, but so a couple weeks ago, I had to go into it like an emergency chiropractor session, which, it had to break my schedule because I was in so much fucking pain. And basically, like, not only that, my back was hurting, it was hurting all the way through my ribs, but also my stomach basically ceased to function. And it's something that they warned me about with the particular nerves that are pinched. Because she kept asking, I was like, are you having any digestive problems? I'm like, no, I'm good. And then, when this nerve really gets fucking irritated, it's like, okay, my stomach is literally not fucking functioning right now. And it had been doing it, but it kept getting better, so I didn't think anything of it. And so it started with me eating lunch one day, and I took a couple bites of fucking onion rings and like nearly vomited. Like it just felt like I was completely full, and I only just started eating. So it's basically because my stomach was full. It just hadn't been emptying. And I've just been eating like a fucking asshole for a couple days. So I forced all that down, and then I'm basically like burping up fucking burger, like undigested burger for like a couple days. So it got to a point where it basically, for anybody who doesn't know, basically it's called gastroparesis, literally fucking paralyzation of your gastro stuff. So as soon as I got into the chiropractor and they worked me over for a while, like thank God my normal one wasn't there. Like I like her, but she does not get in there. So the only male chiropractor that works there, thank God he's the one who saw me, because he fucking did a number on me. Like I was hurting from the adjustment the next day, which has not happened in years. But he loosened up the stuff that was all fucked up in me, because like within like a day, everything started moving. Unfortunately, I talk a lot about my bowel movements, but it's like but I had to give it some assistance at that point, because now I'm days backed up. So I had to take all the fun stuff to try to clear the system. And like I'm having to put the TENS unit on my back like every fucking night just to make sure those nerves stay loose, which is good because it puts me in less pain. So I can't really argue about that, right? But it's like, okay, I was not done with my therapy, but y'all said I was. It's like I was improved, but I was definitely not better. Especially if it hit that bad only 2 weeks out from the end of my therapy. So it's like, okay. And they're like, yeah, we might have to see you a little bit more often. I was like, not for any more money or not. It's like, you've already got me signed into this fucking year-long contract for $2,000 fucking dollars. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's better than like the 3-month thing that I did was $1,300 just for those 3 months, because it was so many visits in that short amount of time. You know, I was just like, and I think they basically said, like, look, we can run it through your insurance, but if we do that, it's actually going to be more out the other end. And like, I'm not sure how that works, but I'm going to try to believe you this time, because I'm in a lot of fucking pain. It's like, I got a credit card. I didn't really want to keep blowing it out every fucking month, but you know, here we are.
Yeah.
So, the only other thing I wanted to mention just real quick, I did watch the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who episode, the first of the 3 episodes for the 60th. It's the return of David Tennant as the Doctor, along with one of the best companions of his run. And I want to say it was amazing, but it wasn't, unfortunately. Even with bringing back these huge actors that already played these parts, bringing back the guy who wrote and directed them while they were there, still didn't save the show from the woke fucking bullshit messages that have been plaguing the show since 2019. I was just like, oh my God. I was like, it was so great. And the funny thing is, I was talking with the other guys about this. I'm like, I missed like the biggest clues to what was going on early on, because I was having to pause to explain shit to Jessica, because she had never seen that stretch of the show. So I had to pause, tell her something about what the setup, and then I hit play again, and I missed the context of what was going on. So basically, they throw a whole lot of identity politics into this episode. Like, they're just like all about the different identity, even to the point of literally correcting the Doctor on pronouns. And it's like, there's a gentler way to do such a thing, but they were blatant about all of the stuff they did. Like, if you go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
Okay.
I got something.
You had a thought. Okay. So
yeah, because like, trust me, I'm with you. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah. So they stopped the scene because the Doctor is talking to this little alien creature, and basically he uses he pronouns, like, you know, I'll help him out and we'll get him out of here. It's like, well, how do you know it's a him? Did you even ask its pronouns? And it's like, they literally stopped the scene to do this. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. So what are your pronouns? I was like, you're talking to a fucking alien creature from another planet you've never seen. And then it answers literally, it's like, oh, well, we don't really deal with these kind of things. My preferred way is to refer to myself in the directive. So I am the meek. It's like we all are, you know, they basically, they don't have pronouns for themselves because they don't bother with any of it. They just are all, you know, like Snarf. Like, Snarf is not really a he or she from Thundercats, just Snarf, right? I mean, I'm sure they probably referred to as he back then, but who knows?
It's just
Snarf.
Yeah, I think they've called Snarf a he at one point, but for the most part, you don't really get.
But yeah, exactly. It's like, but the same thing is just like, and very similar looking creature now that I think about it. So the whole story was based off a comic from like the 70s that they put out there, basically the same story and everything else like that, but they adapted it for TV. and then threw in the message. I completely missed that one of the other main characters in this was meant to be trans until they were very, very blatant about it later in the episode. And I've done like, so it's a really big surprise to me because I missed that explanation at the beginning. Like I said, I was kind of talking over it and missed the connections there. And I'm just like, okay. And then they just went message. And I talked about this with James on episode 75. It's like, it's fine if they have something they want to convey, because you can use the storytelling. You can do a lot of that stuff to convey any of these messages. But if the writing is only, here's a giant hammer, let me hit you with it, that's not the way you do messaging. It was so blatant and cringy is why it was so bad. And then they literally said at the end, they're like, the reason why you can't fix this problem and you would never be able to do it is because you're a man, presenting as a man. And they're like, I'm not. I hate this. I was like, I will finish out these specials because it's David Tennant, and at least Neil Patrick Harris is coming in to play a bad character later on, and I'm all for that. I love Neil Patrick Harris chewing the fucking scenery in anything. It's fucking great. So I will give it that, and then I am done. Sadly, with Doctor Who, like for fucking ever, because it's not gonna get better. Knowing what their plans are for the next full-on Doctor that's coming. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. It's like, nah, I can't. It's just, no. It's like, call me old-fashioned, call me whatever, regressive. I don't fucking care. It's just like, if you're throwing out good writing and storytelling for the message, I'm done. I just can't do it anymore. And I hate that because it's something I loved so much.
I think there's a thing though to it as well. It's like, and I've seen this, in circles on social media. Mm-hmm. When it comes to any of the newer stuff, pronouns, any of it, I don't care.
Yeah,
like leave me the fuck alone. And it's not to sound insensitive or like, hey, I don't care about. But it's like I've watched these kids, in a conversation. Mm-hmm. And let's say it's you, I, and someone we don't know. Mm. And, you really can't tell what they are because over the weekend, I watched a few things where I wasn't quite sure the gender of what the fuck I was looking at.
Been there. Yeah.
I just didn't know. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know. So I'm going to call you a she because they look like she's.
Yeah.
It turned out that they were he's. So, but the thing that I've
were they though? That's the problem. Is like, were they though?
Well, what I was watching, they did identify as males. They were males. They were actually males. Because I had to go and look at the act. I had to go to the IMDb and check. I was like, are you sure?
Gotcha.
They were actual males, and in the show they identified as males, but they very much. It's not like they look like women, full on, but it's like they have very feminine features.
Yeah. Androgynous is a good way to put it. Like
Yeah. Well, and that's what I kept saying. This, I was like, okay, it's like we're going back to the 80s. We're getting these androgynous dudes. There was a point where you see Prince, El DeBarge,
Bowie,
Boy George, Bowie.
Bowie's like the big one, like really.
But even with Bowie, it's like okay, like you see someone like I remember being a kid. Like with David Bowie as a kid, I was never confused.
Yeah. No, yeah, like, but I mean, there was so much going on. Ziggy Stardust, for like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's like in these conversations that I've heard, it's like if we're older, if we step on the wrong toes, they like jump and attack. And it's like you said, like on the show, they're like, well, how do you know that the alien's a he? And it's like, well, I don't. But you know what?
It's like it seemed like a safe bet, and the alien didn't say anything otherwise. It's like you said it. That was the thing. It's literally the other character goes, "Hey, why don't you?" Like, you're calling him a he. You're calling it a he. And I'm like, well, you called it an it. It's like I gave it a little bit more substance than a nothing. It's like in that argument, it's like, okay, but assigning clearly the character was definitely supposed to be more male. I mean, nobody's checking under the fur to look, but the species may not even have gender for all we know. That's probably why they refer to themselves by they're like Pokemon. It's like, what is a Pikachu? Is that a male or female? It just said Pikachu. I have no idea, and they have cloacas. So they all apparently all Pokemon just have cloacas because they have no exposed genitals. So there must be all internal genitals. But somehow Pokemon come from eggs, which also doesn't make any fucking sense. But we're not going there. But this thing is like literally, and it's the only one left of its species. So there can't even be a binary because there's only the one. It's it's the last one in existence. So it is what it is. But it was just the idea of like, okay, we're doing all the modern bullshit now. It's not that they're above doing that in the storytelling, but do it better. Like do it. Don't do it blatantly. Mix it in.
I think there's also a thing too of it is, as I was explaining to Sarah the other day, we talk about sports specifically when it comes to trans athletes.
Yeah,
because that's a huge discussion here in this home.
Yeah,
because we have a daughter who will play sports. Maybe she'll play sports, like she talks about it. We'll see. But we have a daughter who wants to play sports, specifically contact sports. Martial arts. Now, recently there was a young lady who did a competition up in New York, I believe, or New Jersey, and she went against a trans person. I don't know the distinguishing of what.
If this is the one that I think you're referring to, it was a male to female.
Yes, it was a male fighting in the female division.
Yes, okay, so I did see this article. Yeah,
she ended up winning the match. Now, when she put up the post, so I initially saw the post from her coach. He had put it up and he explained the situation on TikTok. Then as I go to Instagram, her post comes up and she explained, she asked her coach, like, is that what I think it is? And coach was basically like, just go out there and do what you do.
Yeah, just go kick ass.
Don't worry about it. Just go play.
Just hope for the best.
And she goes out there and she wins.
Yeah.
Decisively. There's no question about it. Now, the thing I always say to Sarah is, because, there are tons of people. There's this young lady I had on the podcast recently, and she's very outspoken about it. She's in favor. She's like, look, let them, be in the space as well. And the majority of female grapplers I know are like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Now, there's another argument there, though, too, where I see a lot of guys jumping on these posts, screaming and defending the women. But then those same guys on another post would then shit on women. So that shit's a whole different thing that frustrates me because it's like
white knighting. Yeah, I do have I have a problem with the white knighting. I like the people who just want to actually be on board, one side or the other. Just do your thing. There's nuance, but realistically, if you're only jumping in to say impress the girl or just be supportive, but inside you don't care enough, or you flip flop like you were just saying, it's just like, shut the fuck up, because like you shut the fuck up or stick to your guns, one or the other.
Well, and I think with those guys, it's not even so much. I mean, I guess technically by definition is, but no, I've seen these dudes like in a completely different post where there's a female wrestler going up against a clearly male it's male. It's not even a matter of transgender person.
It's just fighting a dude. Yeah.
And there's this one specific match where a young lady, she got slammed on her face.
Oof.
And she curled up. She was hurt. She was in a lot of pain. And, of course, I go to the comments because let's see what people have to say about this. And everybody's like, that's what you fucking get.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, which is it? Yeah. Are you defending the women, or are you shitting on women? Yeah. But that's a whole another thing. But
I don't know if it is. That does feel like this. It feels like the same thing, though. It's like, well, it's like what you said. Basically, if it's just a dude fighting a girl, almost everyone's going to be on one side. Well, no, I can't even say that because like most people in my brain would be like, why the fuck is she fighting a dude? But then you got those assholes, like you were just saying, that's what you get for fighting a dude, Yeah. But then like you get the other side of it where they're fighting a dude who has long hair and a dress. Is same size person is now fighting the same size other person, and it's like, oh no, you can't do that. That's not fair. It's like, hold the fuck on. It's like you can't be both minds there.
Well, I think ultimately because it's the internet and people on the internet just seem to be angry.
I forgot
all the
about that.
time.
I forgot
So it's
about
like
that.
it's people want to be in the space of anger and yell about stuff, which is, that's fine too, because you can be a coward on the internet. That's fine. But
Yeah.
as it goes, people, winners don't talk shit.
Yeah.
Losers do.
Yeah.
So, that being what it is. But what I'm saying is like that's a whole different argument, or discussion there, where the discussion I'm, trying to come back to is like with the story writing and, kind of connecting it with the trans athletes. What I kept telling Sarah was like, I think now is not the time for it because we don't know enough. We don't have enough, because I think they'll talk about the Olympics. There are like some trans athletes that actually didn't do very well.
Yeah.
But the testing that they're doing, was whatever specific. And I was like,
Well,
we need to be looking at that, not just throwing them in. But what I'm getting at is like with the story writing, I think the reason why they, are writing shitty is because it's like, they're like, look, let's jump on this wagon. We don't know quite how to get into the space. So let's just go heavy handed.
Yeah.
And just do whatever we can, like jump in, and then we'll let it smooth out later.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like instead of like jumping in and not understanding, why don't you try to, figure shit out and then transition that slowly? Because sure, eventually it will smooth out, but why don't we, instead of like going on this rough terrain, let's kind of slowly progress as we is, instead of just heavy-handed jumping in. Like, well, do you know what his gender is? It's like, well, why are we going there already? Like,
why was it's like, first of all, like, this is the thing, is like I swear to God, there was I maybe this is just my own mind and internet bias. I swear to God, the other end of the story is literally like white men army bad, trans black person good. It's really what it, if you remove just alien, that's where it goes. And it's like, okay. And then like, given a lot of the nonsense that's going on in the world right now, I'm like, is this about Ukraine? It's like, this is just where my brain went, because this was made within the last 2 years. So like, it's like all of this shit has been going on in the world, and you can tell there's definitely like rewrites and reshoots in some of it, because like that didn't really flow very well. Was that really supposed to be there? And like, you can tell like the scene looks different. I'm like, gotta wonder what happened there. But then like, there's also like an ableism part of it too. Like, they're like the main scientist that's like part of it is like in a wheelchair, and they have to do a wheelchair and stairs joke later on, as like, well, it's not a joke, they pointed out, they're like, oh hey, sorry about this, the door's up there, didn't think about the stairs. My brain was like, why did you send a scientist in a wheelchair to this particular spot? And then I, like, when they first come in, and it's like, how did she even get there? It's like, this was a fucking crashed spaceship into a fucking steel foundry. It's like, there's going to be shit everywhere. How the hell is a person in a wheelchair, a normal wheelchair, mind you, just regular old rolly wheelchair, supposed to get in here and do the shit? It's like, this is what asshole fucking made this call? It's like, yes, she's a very competent scientist and everything else like that within the scene. But then they also bring up the whole trans debate about the doctor. Is like, wait, because he says like, I was like, I wore bow ties, I became Scottish, then I was a woman for a while, and now I'm back to this face. And she's like, wait, is that happening in the future? Because I already know this face. He's like, no, I went back to this face. He's like, okay, so you were a woman in there too. He's like, yeah. It's like, and it's like, now I'm a man again. Ugh. And it's just like, what the fuck are they doing with this? It's like white men bad, army bad. It's just like, Jesus Christ. I was like, I thought we were going to be done with this. It's like, you could hear like the collective sigh of relief from the Whovians out there when the female doctor was gone and the guy who was writing for her was gone. It's not that the female doctor was bad. It's that all the writing was bad around that poor doctor. Like, never really got a chance to really shine with decent writing. It was just message every fucking episode. And then they turn around and it's like, oh, we're going to flip it all around. We're bringing back all the old casts that you love. It's like, nope, this was just nostalgia bait with the same bullshit. And it's like, and it just felt like it brought what would have been easily have been like a fucking like 8.5 episode to a fucking 6 at best. And that's like pulling all the best possible shit in as it's being dragged down by the message. It's like, I don't care that it's a trans character. Like, fine. But message. Even the old white grandma who is still struggling with getting it right and asking if it's okay, like accidentally misgenders, you know, and it's like, no, she. And then it's like, is it okay to call her gorgeous? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And it's like, oh my God. It's like, you're old. You can't get adjusted to things. It's like, wow.
So I think even with playing with that, like I said, I think the biggest issue with any of this, to me at least, and it before the world comes after me. I mean, look,
They can come after me. It's fine.
I want people to come after me, because when people come after me, I show them how much I don't give a fuck.
Well, nobody ever comments here, so it's it is what it is. We never get comments. I don't have to worry about it.
But
I got to say some hateful
is,
shit to get attention.
It's like, there's one way to play it, and then there's another way to just not play it, or kind of slow play things where
Yes.
you're not just so heavy-handed aggressive. I mean, when you have the old grandma saying, am I allowed to call her gorgeous? It's like, stop. You're now, kind of just playing too hard into it. We've already acknowledged the thing is there.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep going back to remind us that the thing is there.
Yeah.
We know, we see, we heard. Let's move on with storytelling.
Yeah.
And stop trying to say, hey, we're part of in group too. And the thing is, when you look at collective groups of fandom, fandom have so many different pockets. I mean, we could look again, just kind of using Marvel, not just specifically MCU, but Marvel in itself.
Yeah.
When they were doing the big revamp, like between 2011 and 2015, you had a lot of changing of race, genders, like all these new characters cropping up, which is fine. We are in a world where, back when comics came out, all the characters were white up until Black Panther, and then it's like, okay, we're getting some diversity in here. We're changing it up a little bit, and it's fine. There's representation. Then, later on you start getting gay characters, you start getting these sophisticated stories.
Yeah.
As we're growing, as a society, just in how we move and think, business as usual. But within those pockets, you're going to have people that are like, I'm really on board with this. I'm really not on board with this. And the thing is, we have echo chambers where, those people who are all really on board with it, they're all like, yeah, everybody loves it, except for these couple assholes out there. And the people who aren't on board with it in their echo chamber, like, we all fucking hate it. Only a couple assholes over there like it.
Yeah.
And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, as a writer, as a storyteller, whatever it may be, show, movie, the best thing you can really do is, hey, let's not heavy-handed cater to one side or the other. Try to meld that shit in the middle, but you got to transition it smoothly. You can't just heavy-handed say, okay, well, this is the end movement right now, where, everyone's, into the trans thing. So that's how we're going to sell it, because you're going to sell your product to that side. But you're going to lose your other side, and which side, and I don't even want to play the game of like, well, which side has the bigger fan base? Not even that. Because again, you could say it's 60% over here and 40% over here. Yeah, we're going to keep 64% of this fan base, but now you're losing 40.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a huge
and that's loss. And by the way, that's 40% of what was left after all of the shit before this. And that's like kind of like what's going on with Marvel now. People are just done with it, and it's been so much shittiness, like that on the internet at least. Like I don't agree that it's all been as shitty as people hate, like we talked about the Marvels, but like it's just like when it is all super heavy-handed message bullshit, it hurts anything. It's like, I don't care what message that is. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like we're talking about it from this one point of view because that's like the big thing right now. But like, it could be the other end of the message because you want to portray someone as being a horrible, bigoted, racist, whatever. So you make it the worst possible character you can, but they have to spout all the nonsense and they go, see what that was? Hey guys. Future Shoki here. I'm interrupting Dante and I's conversation about the Doctor Who episode to insert Dormammu's thoughts on it. So, he went in our chat. He went on to a 5-minute rant about his thoughts on the thing. So I figured I'd go ahead and tag that in here while I'm at it, since we went on it for a long time, and he hasn't been able to come on to the show in quite some time. So I'm doing a favor to everyone by allowing him to be able to rant here. So check it out.
Well, I can leave my commentary now. Ricky, you don't need to sit and listen to all this because I know you're more like, Doctor, don't give a fuck. I hope I said it just like you would. I've come to realize that as much as I love David Tennant as an actor, I don't need him to relive 2005. That was then, this is now, but here we are. It's nostalgia bait season for the BBC. I still love his interpretation, and he nailed the scenes. So did Catherine Tate. Love them both. Good chemistry. I take points for originality or the lack thereof. Davies reusing something, who would have thought? He reuses the original Starbeast story from 1980, which I remember reading as a kid because it was a Tom Baker comic. The introduction style from Ferris Bueller, E.T., The Muppets, Dune, multiple other Doctor Who episodes. And let's not forget we're reminding you that this is Dr. Ten with all his catchphrases, while also reminding you that he's new with some banter thrown in of the things that are different. So where the originality comes in is in pronoun format. They, them, their use of it started in one epically beautiful scene where, it's Catherine Tate's character is the mom, Yasmin Finney is the daughter, they're walking home, and Rose gets berated by some older teens mocking her. First off, it's at night. Second, you wouldn't get away with that shit while her mom was walking with her. And third, I guarantee you, Rose would have more than enough inner rage to find you and take your tires and shove them up your ass sideways. But she still takes it and doesn't let it affect her. That's great. Donna, as the mom, though, tells her that she literally has her back and she would fucking go ham on anyone that tries to mess with her daughter. Even her mother, where she's literally saying, doesn't she look beautiful? It's touching, and it's done in a way that literally says, this is the current world, fuck off. But then they go and make it something more by trying to do something called ice traying. That's where you take the shit and you put it into a tray and you try it to freeze it to mold it into something. They took the whole meta-crisis issue and they made it all about Rose being non-binary. Okay, that's not terribly awful, but you're making it a plot contrivance and pointing attention at it. You didn't need to. Then they took it one step further and had the bit about how the issue is still there for Donna and Rose, and they basically she-splain it to the doctor. At this point, I finished watching the episode, but I decided to go out onto Reddit after watching, and there are a ton of posts, and more coming in, where a lot of cis and transgender people are like, yeah, that was cringy even for us. We don't need to man bash to make ourselves feel better. Listen, I have multiple family and friends that identify differently. And it never appears to me to be a you can't understand because you're a man type of thing. There's obviously somebody at the BBC who went and literally told Davies, hey, can you help people forget about our decades of misogyny and harassment lawsuits? Make us look like a sparkling new target during Pride Month. And then Rose is like, oh, now I feel like my actual self. And I'm still trying to debate if that meant she took the regeneration time vortex energy to biologically remove her dingus, because that shit ain't cheap, or if she was just commenting about how she felt more normal since her mom had space Jesus energy, and now she doesn't think about shit like weird-ass alien dolls to sell on Etsy. I mean, seriously though, rip her side hustle. Also, I love how the alien drive is just going to basically cause the DOT for London a massive headache by ripping up all the asphalt. Wait, you're going to tell me you're not directly breaking up houses and causing chaos like that one that the token kid is living in just watching without getting a collateral laser to the dome? Because, that doesn't happen at all in Chiswick or Westminster. And it's self-healing when it's undone. Ooh, problem solved. No, you're going to recycle a story. You're going to throw in some rainbow flags up in the air and make the budget for the special effects bigger than the inside of the TARDIS. As a Who story, and overall, I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, and it just seems this way. It's a solid 6.5 out of 10, and it's because of that recycling. And a lot of these points are because there's enough good things that make it feel like a fresh Doctor Who. Again, Tennant, Tate, the cast, all great. But when you're driving that vehicle, fucking learn to use the goddamn blinkers and brakes, because this thing was perfectly fine before they decided to take it over the rails. And it's not about wokeness. It's purely about the fact that they're trying to, again, ice tray that shit to make it something that it more than what it needed to be, which was a real simple sci-fi story that could have had a little bit of the trans bit in there without making it so much about that.
Are you frozen?
Yeah, I'm frozen. Can you? Yeah, I'm like, I can hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you weren't moving, and I thought there was something very interesting on the TV.
So yeah, I was like, I saw that. I'm like moving. I was like, why is my picture not moving? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna, because this happened the other day. Let me close my laptop and open it back up, and it should.
All right, I'll pause for a second. There we go. Okay. We got you back. Yeah, because I thought you were just completely checked out on what I was saying, because you were just like staring over to the side. I was like, man, that must be a really good wrestling match. He's not even paying attention anymore.
Actually, it is the match that I turned it on for, but I was gonna like come back to that later. Like, all right, well, that's the match I want to see at the end.
That's funny.
But no, it's just like you get to this.
Well, I was gonna say, like what you said, you meet in the middle. Like, you can show both sides of a conversation and meet in the middle with something that still benefits everyone, and a lot of TV shows have done that. Like, even when there's a message, like, there's some things you can't really meet in the middle on. Like, obviously, child rape is something you're not gonna pick sides on. It's like, you shouldn't. It should be the obvious side, but, you know, it's like SVU, but it's the opposite, and they're literally celebrating the rapist getting away with it. It's like, and then they're like, wait, why are we watching this? This would be the stupidest fucking TV ever. You're making something for a very small portion of the fucking audience, you know. But then, like, it's like, no, you do want it on that other side. It's like, because obviously the message should be, don't rape kids. Hopefully I don't have to bleep that word because YouTube's retarded, or that word. So it's like, but it's just the whole idea of like, yeah, you can find middle ground. Star Trek used to do this. Like, Star Trek could find middle ground in representing a tough situation, whether that's racism, gender problems, other things like that. Star Trek has dealt with these things for decades on end. Doctor Who used to do that too, in very subtle ways. Like, or not subtle ways, but their message wasn't, this thing good, this thing stupid. And especially when this thing stupid wasn't Trump yet, you know, it was really easy to be like, oh, it's a nebulous concept. No, it's literally just about Trump. It's like, but the fact that the bad guys weren't orange in this, I was pretty impressed. I was like, I figured that would be like every episode. They're fighting all the evil orange men, like, you know, but it's like the fact that Wonka is probably going to fail really hard with all the tiny orange guys is going to be sad for them, I think. But it's just, yes, I went there just to be stupid. But it's just, I don't know. I wanted to see a return of the show that I loved, and this goes for a lot of these shows who have come back going like, okay, we're doing this now, and then with a big smile on their face, we're doing this now, you know, because our corporate sponsor said we had to, you know, and then we see the other shows that are just trying to be normal, and they're like getting pushed down in the algorithm because they're not doing message. So it's like, it hurts. It hurts that we can get really good TV without a message. Like Loki, what was the message? Be good to your friends and take care of the people you love so you don't lose them. It's like, and then if you have to manipulate time in that, I mean, it is what it is. Learn to be your best you so your friends can have a good life around you. I mean, like, what's the bad side of that show, right? You know?
Well, I think there's also a point to it. I'm not saying that this is the case, because, I mean, again, this was very heavy-handed, and a lot of stuff's very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And there are some cases where there's, like, a subtle message.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Subtle is the way to go.
And I think that should always be the case, is if you're given a message, you know, it should be subtle, where it's like, you know, you give it a nod. But then there are people who are looking for, you know, even if it's a subtle message, they're like, oh my God, it's littered with all these subliminal messages, and they're trying to like change. And it's like, you know,
yeah, some people do
these days,
they go too far. I agree. Yeah.
You know, especially these days with the internet. Again, it's like the internet is like the bathhouse where everybody be fucking pissed off and angry about one thing or the other. And the unfortunate thing is, no matter what you do, no one's ever going to be pleased. No one's ever going to be happy because there's always going to, and that's with anything. You can't please everyone.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it does become a question of, like I said, try to meet in the middle. And that is kind of playing to trying to please everyone, or heavy hand one side versus heavy hand the other side. I mean, I feel like you're always better served just, again, trying to play in the middle, because at the end of the day, at some point, maybe one side or the other will kind of, see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And meet you there in the middle versus saying, well, I'm going to play heavy side this side. And then you're going to have one side that's going to be forever angry at that and never want to see the other side.
Yes.
Or vice versa.
Correct.
And it's like, at this point, when it comes to entertainment, and this is just me, a 45-year-old dude, looking at it is like, look, just let me watch my shit. Just put the shit on. I like watching Ms. Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
People complain about that, but I think the people who complain about that is like, well, maybe that's just not for you.
Yeah.
The
show was fine.
Like, because even when I watched it, I felt like, this isn't for me. But, I felt like the show was fine.
Yeah.
Like my wife loved it. She loved the cultural, just seeing a different culture on screen. She really enjoyed that. And I was like, yeah, it is fine. It looks good. It's fun. The story was fine, but it was one of those things where it's like, I wasn't breaking a date to watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
But when I caught the show, I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. And I've actually put it back on in the background just as I'm like, tinkering with shit, doing notes and things. It's on in the background, just for funsies. Because that's what I think of that show. I think it's a funsies show.
Yeah. 100%.
Where I don't have to pay attention. But if I catch something, I catch something. But, we have these things where it's like you have tons of people who look at that and like, oh my God, they're trying to indoctrinate us with, these brown people. It's like, fucking relax, dude. That's a character actually from the comic book.
Because we talked about it when the show was on, and like we jokingly said, is like, I say we, mostly me, is like, we got to have the partition drinking game. Every time they say partition, take a shot, and then most people wouldn't make it through 3 episodes. But a lot of people just didn't give that show enough credit. But it was literally just about their culture. It was a hammer, but it was a very focused story. So that's a different thing. It's like, that was about a one character and their family's journey through this horrendous time in human history. It was like, yeah, it literally circled around that. That was the story that was built. So it made sense that there was, it's like talking about something that happened in Auschwitz. I don't know. Maybe there's a Jewish superhero that perhaps, I don't know, has magnet powers. But then we have to talk about the Jewish condition in 1943 to get there. It's just like, and then people bitching about that. Well, I don't like how it showed the Nazis. I was like, you mean you don't like how it showed the horrible shit we did once? Way too long, by the way. Sorry, I'm not trying to dismiss
that's what
that.
Happened.
It's like, that's what happened. It's like, partition was really bad for India. It's like, let's not say that it wasn't. It's whatever. It's like,
and even on the other side of that though too, you have people who now, let's say younger folks specifically, that are like, people are mad because now it's not a white female or white male character. It's like, don't do that either. Don't swing back. Watch the show, enjoy the show. You don't need to throw rocks either. 2 wrongs don't make a right. If someone doesn't like it, they don't like it. Let them not like it. It's their opinion. They're free to not like it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But
if you don't like it, you're the enemy. It's like you weren't on board with the message, therefore you are the other now.
And again, that goes, both sides of it too, because it's like, oh, you made that show, you're the enemy. And it's like, why are we enemies?
But why did you make a show that would make enemies happen? It's like we used to make shows that brought people together. It's like, you could have a story of the week that was important. I mean, I remember that Eddie was getting bullied by a white cop once on Family Matters. That wasn't fucking great. It taught us about fucking racism and cops in Chicago in the 90s. I mean, sure. 100% on board. Real shit happened.
I mean, A Different World. They had the episode where, Dean Cain, he's in the jail cell with fucking I can't remember the fucking dude's name now. And racism was the heavy topic there.
Yeah.
the white dude and the black dude in the jail cell.
Yeah.
And the white dude's basically, calling them animals.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but that taught us something. And I mean, even with Ms. Marvel, I don't think there's anything, that we're like, oh, we're looking at this like, oh, well, this is, poking at one side and, from the other side looking at, oh, this is poking at us.
Yeah.
I just think people decided, hey, I don't like the show. I want to be angry. And the people who like the show get angry at the people who don't like the show. And it's like, why do you care?
Yeah, why does it affect you that it didn't
enjoy it?
Yeah, it's like Disney should care that people didn't like it, but they don't. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I like the young lady who plays Kamala Khan.
Yeah, she's great.
When they're talking about so she was annoying to me in the show at one point, but watching her in Marvels, it was like she played her part perfect. She was adorable. She was like she was my favorite part.
She's a little kid thrown into this shit. She's gonna act like a little kid.
Yeah, she was doing like kid shit, and I was like, oh my god, like she is playing that role to a T. Yeah. But one of the things that where was I?
Was this like where her comment when they said, "How do you feel about it bombing?" It's like that's Bob Iger's problem, not mine.
Yeah, she was like, "That's not my problem."
Yeah,
it was like perfect answer.
I did my job. I had fun. Thing there. Look, watch. Shut up. And then Bob Iger goes, like, he's in charge. That's his fucking problem. Why? It's like, why are you asking me about this? I'm just the actor. And she had the right idea. I don't have an opinion on this. It's not my problem. It's like my problem. My problem is I showed up and had a shitty director who decided not to come to work half the time, like we talked about not long ago.
Well, that's something I think too is a weird thing, and this has always been kind of the case with media, but it's so much more heavy-handed the last 10 years, if not more, like 15 years even, where interviewers ask these stupid questions,
leading questions to get some fucking riled up bullshit.
Yeah, try to get some dirt. I mean, it got so bad with the media where they just like and they still do it, but there was a period where they would just listen to Joe Rogan's podcast for like news stories.
Yeah.
Just like like Elon Musk, smokes weed. Tesla stock drops. And it's like
why? It's like he just spoke. It's like I bet it didn't go down on his last episode.
Yeah, it's like
SpaceX stock should have gone up for that one. He talked a lot about SpaceX.
Well, I mean, and then they shot a crossbow at
Fuck yeah, they did.
And it's like, shit should have gone skyrocketed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, that's
like
bulletproof.
It's fucking bulletproof. Let's go. It's like, yeah. Well, it's arrow proof. We proved it's arrow proof. A very powerful bow, but still.
But it's just like people, that's one thing I say with Off the Mats. When I have people on the show, I tell them, you can feel comfortable that I'm not going to try to ask you anything that's going to make you uncomfortable. Yeah. As a guest. As a matter of fact, I prefer not to ask any questions. I prefer you just come on and tell your story, and I'll ask questions from there that I feel might be appropriate. But you get these interviews that they want to ask like the stars to try to put them in a weird spot and get them to say something stupid so that they can have a fucking headline.
Get a soundbite headline.
Yeah, it's like fuck off. Just let people be. I mean, the way that kid handled that, especially for being an actual kid, and she was like, "Look, that's not my problem."
Yeah, like, if only Rachel Ziegler could have been on that same train,
Yeah, I mean, and I saw the new Hunger Games.
Yeah,
with that kid in it. So I will say this.
Oh, you actually did watch that one?
Because the guys
is that a Thursday?
When did we see that? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
I forgot what day movie day was.
Yeah, I think it came out the previous Friday, but
that's right, it did. Yeah.
We're going into the Thanksgiving break, so I was like, let's go see a movie, just kind of bust chills. But I will say this: going into that, I heard a lot of complaining, but it was more so on her, and I think because just all the other shit. It's like that's one thing I don't like. Is like, yes, that person said something stupid, on one thing. Let's try not to let it affect another thing that they're working on. That might have actually been a good project. Now, I will say this with her in this movie versus the rest of the cast. I felt like this could have been her. This could have been the director. I don't know. But I felt like she came on a little strong. It was like a little much of her. And it could just be my bias at that point.
See, that is a problem. Is like she's, and no matter what, she's gonna be tainted, and that sucks because she's supposed to be the new It girl. Like, I mean, probably they'll probably do another reboot, but they wanted her to be the new It girl, And it's just, sorry, we're not doing that here. It's like, this is a Wendy's. But it's just like, that's what sucks. And I haven't watched any reviews of the movie, honestly. I wasn't interested. I was like, hey, look, a story that doesn't need to be told, but at least there's dwarfs in this one.
I felt.
Yeah,
We didn't need that story.
Yeah.
It was a fine movie.
Yeah.
It was fine. The dude who plays Snow,
yeah,
I loved him.
He looked familiar. I don't know what he's from, but
yeah, I tried looking him up and I didn't recognize him from anything. But who knows what I watch? I watch mostly old shit, so I don't recognize anyone. But I thought he did great. I think one of the things with the movie, as we talk about representation and stuff, because Sarah's reading the book right now. She's like on the last chapter, so we didn't talk the whole lot.
That book? They have a book for this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But there's a character with Down syndrome that's in the Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
And Sarah was like, "That's not in the book." And I was like, "I mean," she was like, "At least there's nothing that led you to believe there's a character with Down syndrome." And I'm not saying don't do it, not at all, because they exist. So there is that point. But again, there are certain things with the movie that felt a little heavy-handed. It's like, here, this is in your face, so like we're at least there's idea like that we're trying to include everyone. It's like, don't make it so obvious. Just do the things. You don't have to put it in people's face to say, "Hey, look, we're trying to be the good guys." And it's like, just be the good guys. Don't. It's like,
don't tell me you're being the good guys. Show me you're being the good guys.
It's like giving a homeless person, a sandwich, but videotaping that you're giving them a sandwich. It's like
live streaming it. If I get 10,000 more likes, this guy will get a second sandwich and a Coke. That kind of shit. And it's just like, what?
Just let it be.
Yeah.
But with her for sure, it could just be the story. I mean, she was like, the whole big thing was like she was a singer, and I love music, but there's just sometimes where I feel like you're singing at a point that's not necessary. Like there are two parts of the movie where her singing felt like, okay, it belongs here.
Yeah.
But there are other parts where it's just like, I don't know why you're singing in this moment.
Are they Disneyfying like all of these action movies now? Because I mean, technically, the Marvels doesn't have like song breaks; it has musical numbers, right? Like Dan,
it has like a 35-second song.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody's like busting out and singing with animals like a Disney movie kind of shit, where it literally makes no sense for the thing. Like I know there's like the Bollywood type scene in it.
The planet where that's their language.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and even with that, they broke it quick because she started talking to him regularly. It was like, wait, he can understand you? She goes, oh, he's bilingual. It was like, okay, that's a quick way to get over that. Love it. But in Hunger Games, though, it did feel that way because she's out in the fucking woods. She just starts singing. I'm
she's
like,
Snow Whiting. It's like, oh, this is the Snow White we were supposed to have. And that, of course, that's gone back to the drawing board now, which is funny. But I saw. Sorry, for somebody who's going the complete opposite route. The Daily Wire just dropped a new trailer for a movie they're doing. Hold on, what was it called? Let me go find it real quick. So they did a comedy poking fun at the males in sport and female sports thing. It's called Lady Ballers. So it's a bunch of middle-aged dudes who can't really play basketball professionally anymore, but because they're allowing in anybody who just identifies as females, they decide to go play on a female league. And it's a comedy, and like, not gonna lie, so they've got a lot of the more I don't want to say like a lot more of the right wing comics, so to speak, as is. But the funny part is, at least from the trailer, like all of the Daily Wire crew are in the movie one way or another. Even Jeremy Boring, the dude who fucking owns most of it, he's in the fucking movie with a playing part. I was like, I might sign up again for like $10 just to watch this movie because it does look fucking funny, and I'd like to see what they do. I've seen what they do with serious shit. I want to see what they do with the silly shit. I was like, let's see if they can put together something really fucking dumb, like because it's dumb. I was like, it's not that I necessarily support it, but they went with, okay, well, things are going to be so absurd that way. Let's literally show the opposite absurdity, like just for fun.
So I'm familiar, I guess, in just word of the Daily Wire. I haven't seen anything on there. I haven't watched anything on there. But I know back when Gina Carano got let go from
Disney.
Mandalorian,
Yeah.
you know, that was a huge thing because you know, I you know, the tweet that she made is like, I still don't get it. It's like, why the fuck is everybody mad?
Yeah,
now,
exactly. That was the point. Why is everybody mad?
So now let's fast forward up to, you know, last week,
Yeah.
where Melissa Barrera's whatever,
from
the girl from Scream.
Yes.
She made a comment on her Twitter, and I'm just gonna say this here, and I said it on Colompton just last night as well, or a couple nights ago too. I don't know what's going on with, I know there's conflict. I don't know the story. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and sometimes it's okay not to have an opinion. That's where I stand with all this stuff. It's okay to not have an opinion.
Yeah.
But to play this game of like, I'm going to use my platform to say this, and don't get me wrong, I use my platform with BJJ Wiki to speak about mental health, depression, suicide awareness. Yes, I use my platform to speak on that. I'm not saying that no one should ever use their platform, to speak up of whatever. But the thing is, she spoke out. I'm not sure which side she's on, but she said something about the whole Israel and Palestine thing. She got fired from Scream, and then this backlash comes out. Everybody's like, boycott Scream 7. It's like whatever. And then Jenna Ortega, she stepped down. A big part of it is she's got a full plate. She's doing Beetlejuice 2. She's doing Wednesday season 2. She's doing there's another movie out there being made as well. She's got a lot of shit on her plate. But I'm sure this had something to do with it as well. I don't want to say, she full on said, well, you guys fired Melissa, I'm out too. No, yeah. But she had a busy schedule, and then probably was just like, you know what?
Just from the articles,
I don't need to be here.
Yeah, just from these articles, it says that she basically quit in support of, just of Melissa, not what Melissa said, because at least I googled it just real quick, because it's what I thought it was. It's exactly what I thought it was, because you're not allowed to take a pro-Palestine side on Twitter. So like you have to be pro-Israel out there because America, I guess. But it's like, it's like people, unfortunately, this is a real war, not like what happened with fucking Ukraine. People died there. That's not good by any means, but that wasn't a war. This is a real war over something. And, it's like, this is like, even the brutality of the last 2.5 years, 3 years with Ukraine. This is a religious war that's been going on for fucking 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 fucking years. It's like, this is the latest iteration of the problem where people stepped in, divided up shit that they shouldn't have even been involved in the first place, determined you're the winner, and then now everybody else comes in and it's the new thing because now everyone knows about it while it's happening, so therefore everybody has to have an opinion on it. It's like, I mean, I was fine on just, we've got our own fucking problems. We don't need to step in over there. They're handling it. We've got nothing to fucking do with this fight. I mean, historically, we have something to do with this fight. But like right now, today, we don't know anybody anything. If people want to have an opinion, who cares? As long as they're not taking actions on those opinions is really what it comes down to. Yeah. And it's like, don't hurt somebody. Don't hurt somebody here for what's going on over there. It's like, it's fucking stupid.
And that's my whole thing is like, look, if you have an opinion about it, that's one thing, but it's like, for somebody to get mad at somebody else, because now there is a rumor, and I've only seen it in one spot, so I don't know how true this is, but someone said that she made some comments about Jews running Hollywood and stuff like that. I haven't seen that anywhere other than
thing,
one source. And who knows how reliable the source is. Yeah. But I also haven't seen it again since day one.
I mean, just that sentiment has been out there for so fucking long. It's like, just because today we have a problem, not we, the greater we have a problem with, or some people have a problem with the Jewish people because of what's happening over there. And it's just like, once again, it's happening there. You don't need to start a new war here because something's happening there. Let somebody have an opinion as long as they're not hurting someone else in that opinion. And I don't mean feelings, because fuck your feelings. It's like, if they're not picking up a stick and hitting someone with it in the litter, or worse, over it, which, this sadly is happening in places. But I mean, like I said, it's like, firing Melissa is not going to affect the war over in Israel and Palestine. It's like, I'm sorry, there's no point in firing her. It was like with Gina Carano. It's like, one, Gina's tweet was effectively harmless because everyone took it out of context and blew it up out of the water because Disney hated her for having other opinions. But then, like, now it's just cancel culture coming for anyone, not just one side or the other. Well, it's a different side in this way, but it's like, because you don't know. There were no defined sides before this. It's like, it's just like, we didn't know that you were pro-Palestine and pro-Israel. It's like, well, it never came up until today. It's just like, it's like me. I'm just like, well, I mean, I don't want anybody to be dying. It's like, I don't want there. It's like, I have no solution. I just don't want the fighting to happen. It's like, and I let them figure it out. It's like,
what the thing too is like you say, you have no solution. So
shut up.
Why are you asking me anything?
Either shut up or ignore me. It's like, there's two things you can do. It's like, you can silence your own opinion, or you can ignore mine, which is about the same way. It's like, you don't have to fight with my opinion. Just acknowledge that. It's like, okay, if you don't like it, I mean, doors are over there, or change the fucking screen, block. Who cares, right? It's like, because it's all on Twitter.
Well, I think there's a issue too, and this has always been an issue with things, but when it comes to opinions especially, it's like, well, I want to say my piece, and in me trying to say my piece, I'm also trying to sway your opinion. I'm trying to change your mind. It's like,
100%.
Or how about a conversation? What happens just having a conversation where two people disagree? It's like, I have a broad spectrum of friends that we don't agree on all the same things.
Yeah.
There might be, and the thing is, I don't hate those friends, and they don't hate me. But at least I hope they don't hate me, because, and if they do, oh well, fuck them. That's your choice. But I feel like, look, as adults, let's be adults and talk it out.
Indeed.
But the thing is, when we look at this, because on TikTok, that's where I first saw it. I flipped on TikTok and I saw this one dude who I love his content, and he brought up the Scream story. I was like, holy shit, what's going on? And then boom, there was just a flood all over my Instagram, all over TikTok, everywhere, and everyone had their opinions. And they'll talk about, the big things like, well, if you support genocide, and it's like, look, man, I support just fucking making the movie. And, people are like, well, now they're going back to the drawing board. It looks like they're going back to Nev Campbell. They're reaching out to her. And, immediately you get people saying, well, look, if Nev comes back, boycott Scream 7. If she goes back, why would she go back? They mistreated her last time. Like, no, I mean, they didn't mistreat her. She wanted more money. They said, no, we're not going to do that. And even in the next movie, they didn't say anything nasty. They just said, Courtney Cox was like, hey, Sydney says she's going to sit this one out. Yeah. It was that simple. Yeah. And I felt like that was done very tastefully. But I mean, if she decides to come back, people are like, don't attack her. If she makes a choice to come back, that's her choice to come back. But, leave people out of it. Let people, live their lives. I mean, the whole thing is like, when people are like, oh, you support genocide, I was like, well, what the fuck are you doing then? What are you doing right now in your day that you're so angry, that you're helping in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like anything other than bitching and complaining.
What is your what is your opinion doing to actually help this? Or are you literally doing anything? Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, everybody that's bitching and complaining one side or the other. If they say, hey, we're going to war and we're doing a draft, they're going to be quiet as fuck now. Like, or they'll bitch about the draft. But the thing is, it's like you want to speak up and be so vocal and be, part of the team. Where here you are, go be part of the team. Go, pick up a gun and go over there and fight the war.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight for whatever side. So,
well,
I don't know, man.
Just
make the movie.
Just make the movie. There you go. It's just gonna be a movie later. All right, but we are running out of time right quick here for you, so I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I mean, like, it is what it is. I mean, I definitely, heavier conversation. There was a conversation I really wanted to have this week, but we didn't have enough people, so it's okay. I'll still hold the idea. It's a bigger conversation. Something that happened on Nerd Rage. I don't remember if you were on that episode or not. I did listen to the episode you were on from the other week. It was about
episodes.
Oh, okay, episode. So I haven't gotten to the next one then that you were on. So I've only gotten through the first one. Because I'm like, I figured out I was like 5 weeks behind on Nerd Rage. I was like, damn, okay, I'm gonna start. I've been doing my own shit and I haven't been paying any attention.
Well,
I've been watching Are You
5
Garbage?
weeks behind. I'm like 2 years behind.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but you're there. It's one thing. But as like I've been watching like Are You Garbage and Kill Tony. So it's like I don't have time for Nerd Rage in there. Got to go watch some comedy content. Finding out if my favorite comedians are garbage or classy individuals. It's a great podcast if you don't listen to Are You Garbage. But anyway, definitely appreciate you coming in last second, coming in clutch for me again, Dante.
no problem.
And I've said it before, but I'm definitely gonna have to. I have asked a person to join me on the podcast as a new co-host. Did not get a response from him just yet, but I know he's had a very busy day, is why he couldn't come today. So hopefully, I mean, if he says no, it is what it is. Otherwise, such is life, and I'll just keep shopping. It's fine. But it's come to a point where things have to change. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just for the sake of the show, things got to change, and I hate that. It is what it is. No hard feelings. It's just hard podding is what it is. So, but for like you're a fantastic, not even a backup anymore. You're like the main quarterback at this point. Just come on in. Yeah, it's like
I'm here. You need me, just let me know.
Yep.
And I'm on.
I just not on Instagram. Just gotta text you directly. It's like, and it's gonna be real bad if I have to call you about it. And guys, of course, go follow all of Dante's shows, whether that's Off the Mats, So You Like Horror, and Compton Beer Club. And once again, I'm behind on all those too. But I do want to check out the neurodivergent episode you were talking about. I definitely want to get to that as soon as I can.
It's a short one. It's
even better.
Like,
I have a short attention span.
Yeah, it's about 35 minutes.
Nice. I can definitely. We'll probably listen to it tomorrow then, because I have a feeling I'm going to have a short shift, which fucking sucks. There was one other thing. Oh, I did want to say, because I didn't know about this until yesterday during the Zoom call. Good old Al Mack, told me and informed me about the riots going on in Dublin the other night. And holy shit! He sent me videos and stuff from people on the street. So people he knew, people who were live streaming and stuff like that, sent me pictures and videos of that, and I was just like, so it was a tragedy to begin with, and then it became a bigger community tragedy, as it were. So hearts go out to the victims and all of it. It's another sort of situation. It's like it's another complicated fucking thing, like every country's basically going through right now. So there's no easy answer. There's right and wrong in it, ultimately, but it's basically it's bullshit all over the world, and we're all fucking paying the price for it. And it sucks. It sucks a lot. So to all the Irishers out there, it's like, stay safe, for the love of God, stay safe out there. And of course, guys, if you want to write into the show, Jay said he is going to be writing an email in sometime soon, but you can do so at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com. It's in the description down below. And if you want to go follow any of my stuff, I am knocking on the door of 10,000 subscribers. Like, literally, I think I'm only like 12 away or something like that.
Hey, I got 12 accounts. I got you. Hold on.
Go over to YouTube and sign up for all my stuff over there on the SHOKY Reviews channel. Like, so close. 10,000 subscribers is all I've ever wanted for that channel, and then I could be like, okay, I'm good, I hit this, and then it'll immediately go back to like 99982, and I'll be like, fuck, okay. So
hey, however many accounts I got you. I'm jumping on right now.
Well,
I think I'm following you from at least 2.
Yeah. But yeah, if you push me over, that would be crazy. I don't even know. Hold on, I gotta pull up my shit dashboard. I'm literally at 9992 on the SHOKY review, so I'm 8 away from 10,000 subscribers. For
Get
the,
away. All right, I'm on my way.
there you go. Sign up for everything over there. Watch occasionally. That'd be great because that's where the Robot Jocks movie review that we did. That's where that lives. So,
Yes.
and I did just put out videos. Hey, look at that! I put out 2 videos that go together, and they have roughly the same amount of views. Gotta love that people are actually seeing both. So, guys, wherever you are, stay safe. You're awesome, hopefully. And if you have any comments towards whatever it is we said today, I don't even remember anymore, put it down below. If you want to support on the Patreon, you can do that, and you can get the uncut video version of this podcast over at the SHOKY Reviews Patreon, link down below as well. And for as little as $5 a month, you can come and tell me how stupid I am in person if you want, because we have 3 times a month chats, which actually this Wednesday we'll be doing an extra one because we had a long month. So, fun times. And with that... Okay, bye.
Peace.
Gotta remember to hit the stop button. Nope, not that.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.